Welcome back to this round 14 doubleheader. It is Eastlake doing battle with Tuggeranong. Eastlake keen to avenge defeat in the first round. Tuggeranong jumped them in the middle. It's Ned Brophy-Williams in the middle of the ground. He gets a quick kick out of the ground, only as far as Aaron Bruce. Bruce travels to meet the ball quickly there. Quick handball over there to Riles, but it was chopped off there by Cleaver, it was. Cleaver out to Greenwell, the ACT representative player, down towards a former teammate for the ACT representative in Van Muir, the premier defender in the competition. Out towards Maiden. Maiden with a long kick over there looking for Bruce. Bruce flies above the pack and he comes down hard. Of course, joining me in commentary this afternoon for this double-header clash is Daniel Ryle. Welcome to the program, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. The late call-up's good and exciting to get up here again, which is nice. So the boys will be out to try and get another win on the board after 4 in a row. So hopefully we'll see how we go. Tuggeranong been a bit of a bogey for us the last couple of years, so it's always interesting. So
absolutely, Daniel. Of course, you are fighting your way back through injury. A couple of games back in now, so feeling a little bit better about things.
Yeah, getting there. Just mate, it's a bit hard to get some consistency, and yeah, injuries have riddled me all year. But hopefully get a few more in the reserves and might be able to sneak my way back in. But we've got plenty of young boys pushing up and always makes it tough, so it's good for the club, and yeah, we'll see how things go. So
I think it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, it's a long year ahead.
Road ahead. Yeah. As Ash Pocock sprayed that one and hit it out of bounds on the full, of course, out to Brabbers on his first game back after 6 weeks. The Doom is shooting for 5 on the trot, actually, Daniel, so if they win this one, it'll be 5 on the trot. They'll consolidate their spot in the top 5 after what looked to be a shaky start when they got beaten on the Thursday night out there prior to Easter at Tuggeranong Greenway Oval. It's the former Eastlake player and now captain coach Peter McGrath. He's done quite well with the Hawks, hasn't he, Daniel?
Yeah, he has. He's a great man, Pete, and he knows his stuff, knows his footy, he's passionate about it, and I think he's really just relishing the opportunity just to get the reins of a senior side. And I was talking to him the other day and he said he's grateful that Tuggeranong given the opportunity, so yeah, he's really enjoying it. I think he's finding out the stresses of being a senior coach also, which is interesting. So
absolutely. Let's not forget, Tuggeranong did lose 12 senior listed players at the start of the year, so to rebuild the side from there, and you know, they've had 3 wins on the board and they've started here promisingly, and that was a quick kick forward there by the number 36, and that was Timmy Cleaver. Of course, Benny Cleaver out towards the former Swan in O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer was dragged down there by Pocock. Pocock was taken on by Perry, who had an outstanding game last week. He kept Big Pullman, the danger man for Redlands, down to, I think it was 1 goal. In the middle of the ground here, as a decision has to be made. I think it's Gumley further out there, is it? Is it
Lang, I think.
No, it's Matty Lang. He's been a star all year. One of the young blokes you've talked about, really liked his work. Out towards Liam Greenwell. He never gets beaten. Out to McGrath. Greenwell, this is what lets Tuggeranong down, is their foot skills. There you go, Maiden sweating on it. It's out there towards Newhouse. Newhouse was good enough to get away with it. Out to Greenwell with the left boot. He finds out there, and it's out there towards that of Lovett. Lovett goes down towards centre wing, out towards Big Red Dog McLeod. McLeod with the strapping on his leg. He's a good player, Brent McLeod, make no mistake about that. It's out towards Van Muir. He gets taken to the ground. It should have been a push in the back. If not, it's holding the ball. Yes, that it is. The umpire agrees with me up here in the central commentary spot, but the players to watch out for, Daniel, in the Eastlake side.
Yeah, obviously we've got midfield's been pretty strong. You got Ralston up there who had a day out with 9 last week. And Matty O's had plenty of the footy. I think he's probably averaging close to 30 touches. But and then you've got your usual suspects with Johnny Van Muir's down back and Brabazon come back into some form. But some of our young guys have been really promising in Matty Lang. And we've got Mike Ryan, who's making his debut today, which I think he'll be a really exciting prospect for the club. So,
yes, yeah. Xavier McMahon, who's been one of the more consistent performers for the Demons, he turns it over. And Tuggeranong have started well here. They're just moving the ball around. It's towards that of McLeod, out towards the run of the big Brad Hun. Hun goes inside the 50 towards Pocock. He gets another opportunity to have a shot at goal again to Ash Pocock. They're moving the ball with purpose and their foot skills look right on target. It's the fatigue that sets into Tuggeranong, but some of their mid-range players have really improved. Getting games under their belt under Coach McGrath will do them the world of good. If they can attract a couple more players, they'll be a side to be reckoned with in the coming years.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you ride this home with Pocock. Really needs to get him off to the right start, and he's missed that one, Ash Pocock. So you need those sort of players kicking goals early. Ash Pocock to give the team a bit of confidence. But nonetheless, that's the first score on the board here at the the second game of the doubleheader at Star Trek Oval, and it's taken out there by Hayden Armstrong, who's found a rich vein of form since coming back from the under-22s game. He seems to have risen a little bit in confidence because he can be a little bit hot and cold. That's a mark free kick. Chris Robinson in front of Ralston there. I hope he was watching last week to learn. Out towards that of Willoughby. I like this boy, James Willoughby. He's clever. Out there to Matt Bernasconi. Of course, his brother playing at Ainsley. Bernasconi out to Kelly. Sean Kelly in the number 10. He's got to deliver this properly in there towards... That's a free kick there to McLeod. You betcha. He was held on to when he didn't have the footy. Johnny Van Meels, you can't do that, mate. That was a good lead there from McLeod, and he gets an opportunity, 45 out in front.
Yeah, he's very dangerous player, this guy. I think he had probably 40 touches and kicked 3 against us when they knocked us off early in the year, so we've definitely spoken about him, and there'll be a bit of time put into him, but he's very dangerous around goals, even when he's sort of carrying a bit of an injury, so we one to put a bit of heat on today.
There you go, there's the first one. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Brent McLeod, he touched him up in the first round. He's a very important player, of course, coming from that strong Geelong Bellarine League down there in Victoria. Daniel, tell me about your recruiting work that you do for the Essendon Bombers. Not many people would probably know about that one, would they?
No, it's kept on the pretty down low, but since the sort of introduction of NEAFL, obviously AFL clubs put a bit more time into the Canberra footy, and obviously with the AFL sides and the GWS Giants with the best young talent in the country over the last few years, they've got to keep an eye on things with them, and at some stage they're going to have to turn a few of them over and a few will go back to Melbourne. So yeah, I just got in touch with the club and a few clubs, and Essendon sort of were pretty keen to get me involved, and yeah, so basically I just watch a bit of the NEAFL footy and the Rams and things like that, and just report on that and keep them up to date with, you know, the stars of the competition, I guess, and who looks like they might be able to play AFL footy. So sort of gathered a bit of momentum in the last, I guess, 12 months with the competition on the year older, and the rep fixtures are obviously important, and you know, you got guys like Kane Stevens and guys like that are probably right on the radar of a lot of clubs. That's yeah, they obviously hear about them through guys like me, which is exciting for me, and yeah, we'll see how we go. We might get a couple drafted in the next couple of years. So
as we go back to Jacob Clark there, and you obviously enjoy the role, Daniel?
Yeah, it's good. I love going to the footy. I go and watch the footy anyway, so may as well make it worthwhile and get involved, and hopefully, you know, down the track I'll really enjoy it and might lead to bigger and better things. You never know. So
that's it. Of course, being a doggy supporter, a long-suffering Western Bulldogs supporter, and growing up in country New South Wales, West Wyalong, a rugby league-dominated town.
That's right.
The affection for AFL, where did that come from?
Oh man, he grew up in a town called Area Park, out in the Riverina, and
near
Ardlethan, and in the middle of nowhere, and they're Aussie rules through and through. So yeah, I had no choice. Dad sort of born me Aussie rules, and it's just sort of gone from there. But played a bit of league at school and that, but never was really that interested in it. So
clumsy free kick there by Moody. It gives Willoughby an opportunity to put it forward there, but that's a poor kick from James Willoughby. That's the part of his game he really needs to improve. It's Van Mueller's with ball in hand now. He gets an opportunity to go long down the line here, and it's down towards Armstrong. He pushed, it should have been a free kick there to Jake White, but no, it wasn't. So a bit of an arm wrestle to start here at the first quarter of this round 14 clash. Of course, Eastlake needing to keep that momentum, shooting for 5 on the trot. Tuggeranong looking for their 4th for the season, and that'll please all comers if McGrath can get 4 wins for the season. I don't think they would have expected that, losing 12, 13 senior players at the beginning of the year, but it was just hacked off the ground there by Scott Newhouse. Over towards Sam Smith, out there, and he's tackled cleverly there by Benny Cleaver. That is holding the ball all day, every day, and that's what the rule was brought in for, but the umpire doesn't see it that way. He'll bounce it down on the corner of the square there. It's about 75 metres from the Tuggeranong goal. Of course, Tuggeranong leading 1-1-7 to Eastlake, yet to score. All the play this quarter, it's out to McMahon. He dropped the footy there, and it's been shuffled along there, and the umpire doesn't really make any headway. Of course, Ned Brophy-Williams has to back up his performance this week, going head-to-head against Big Sam Hartman and, of course, Matty Channon, the two 6'5" demons. They're big boys, so they get an opportunity to give first use of the footy. Mardling gets swept off the footy. It's out towards Kelly. He shuffles one out. Not good enough. Liam Greenwell gets a quick kick out of the air for the Tuggeranong Hawks. Out towards that of Cleaver again, and Jacob Clark puck was on the bottom of the ground. Brophy Williams was swung to the ground. It's out towards Willoughby, but he was met in a solid tackle there from Aaron Wiles. Which way will the umpire see it? And it was taken over the boundary line, rugby style there by Joshua Moody. Now the boy from South Australia, Joshua Moody, impressed last start against the Redland Bombers. He certainly got his kicking game right last week, did Joshua Moody, Daniel.
Yeah, he's finds plenty of the footy. It's probably his biggest knock is his ball use at times. He can butcher it a bit. He copped the nickname the Butcher there for a couple of weeks of training, but he's definitely worked hard on it. And yeah, I think Berkey just be a little bit frustrated here. The Tuggeranong just slowed the Demons up a bit. Can't sort of get any momentum going forward. So just look to sort of get a bit of run here and see if we can break the game open. It's not going to help with kicks like that. So.
Yeah, good grab there from, and if he sweats on him here, Pocock, he'll get a goal out of this. But light rain falling here at Star Trek Oval. Perry was good enough. He's been caught with a footy, and the umpire said yes, it's out to McLeod. He plays on for his second in 2 minutes. Brent McLeod, you are a star. That's their second. That's the Hawks' second as they take a lead here at Star Trek Oval in Manuka. 2-1-13 to Eastlake Demons, yet to score. 7 minutes gone in the first quarter. That's a turn up for the books here. Not expecting that, but it is a bogey side for the Eastlake Demons.
Yeah, it definitely is. And yeah, like I said, if we can get just a bit more run with the footy, Tuggeranong are obviously getting a bit of space and being able to get out in their forward line pretty quick. So if they can keep getting one-on-ones down there, they'll be pretty dangerous. So we'll just see how this centre clearance goes. With Mesman going into the ruck, he's chopping out a bit in there. So there's a couple of big guys in there for Tuggeranong. So see how they go here. It's really important centre clearance.
Go back to the middle of the ground. It's Mesman to do battle there with Hartman. I don't know where they pulled Big Hartman from, but it's out there towards the 18, and that's Benny Cleaver. He drives the ball forward only as far as Dwyer. He butters it up with a 1-2 in Mesman. Mesman out there towards Gumley. Gumley gets an opportunity to drive it forward. Out there towards Bruce. Punch from behind, solidly met there, Lovett. Well done, mopped up there by Timmy Cleaver. Cleaver with now, it's out there towards that of Phil Lovett. He gets an opportunity to clear the ball for the Demons, only as far as Joshua Moody, but it beats all comers and goes out. Centre wing under the light tower here. Second game in for this double-header Northeastern Football League. Round 14 clash. Joining me in the commentary box is Daniel Ryle, the West Wyalong product, the avid Western Bulldogs supporter, and of course the Essendon scout here in the ACT. Does a lot of work for the Essendon Bombers, and you've also told me, Daniel, that they do look after you and take you in once a year and tell you what's expected. Yeah,
I went down earlier in the year, just prior to the season, and had a meeting with them, and there's obviously a bunch of guys from all over the country that they keep in touch with, and went down and sort of had some presentations from a range of different people at the club, including Mark Thompson, which was really interesting. So just about what they're looking for in footballs, where they think their list is at, and yeah, it's a really great opportunity for me, especially a young kid from the bush. I don't get an opportunity to do that very much, so no, they've been really good to me, and it's been a great experience for me as well. So hopefully I can bring something like that back to the club and implement some of the things they do down there. So there you have it, an inner sanctum experience from the Essendon Bombers, one of the big clubs inside the AFL. Hearing from a premiership captain in Mark Bomber Thompson, of course premiership coach at the Geelong Cats. It's out to McMahon, who dilly-dallies around. It's over to his namesake in Lee McMahon, no relation of course, out there towards Lovett. He started strongly in this game, but they're breaking down across half forward. Here's an opportunity. Hun must run and carry the footy. He chips it away there towards McLeod. He gets crunched from behind, and that was a solid hit there by Xavier McMahon. He showed great courage out there towards Lee McMahon. Lee McMahon gets a quick handball out there to Maiden, who was unattended. He gets an opportunity to bomb the ball along inside the forward 50 out towards Ralston, but he was cleverly bodied out of it by Matt Bernasconi. The ball's on the ground out towards the goal, sneaking Martling with a quick snap across the goal. It's going to beat them all. Boundary line throw in, 25 metres out from the Eastlake Demons goal. Round 14 Northeastern Football League clash. I'm Brett Davis. Joining me in the commentary box is Daniel Ryle as we bring you the second game of this double-header. Round 14 clash, of course. Tuggeranong looking for their 4th win for the season. Eastlake Demons looking for 5 in a row. They really need to. That's a strong tackle there in the forward there by the Eastlake forward. I think it was Ralston. Yeah, no, there's young Dan O'Connell there. He's a tackling machine down from Osborne in the Hume Footy League. He's only a young kid and up here to study uni, and his old man actually played for the club wearing his dad's jumper in number 21. So
yes, of course, his father Robbie O'Connell.
Yeah, so he's been a real find for us coming from the country, so probably come along with his cousin Nick Fleming, who was probably the more hyped about, I guess, and Dan's sort of been a bit unheralded, and he's come in and played every game so far this year, so he's been really good for us.
It was incorrect disposal there. Young Jacob Clark, he made all the play. Free kick over to Sam Smith. He gets an opportunity to put the Demons' first score on the board. 9 minutes gone in this first quarter. Sam Smith lining up at goal. Doesn't kick too many to Sammy Smith, and he shows why, because he's just stabbed at that one and he sprayed it wide straight through the behind post. So that's their first score for the afternoon. Tuggeranong opened probably the better of the two sides, but there's a long way to go in this round 14 clash as we look for the ball as light rain falls here at Star Trek Oval in Manuka, which should even the contest up, Daniel.
Yeah, I was having a look today and I thought it might have been a nice day, but rain's falling, and they've got us a couple of times in the wet, Tuggeranong, and worried us. They just they do compete, and if you give them a sniff, they've got a few guys that will really battle in for the rest of the day. So it was really important for us to get a good start, but Tuggeranong's credit, and McGrath, obviously with experience at Eastlake, knows what's important for the club, and he's been able to slow us down a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. This next 10 minutes is going to be really important this quarter. So
there you have it. Of course, McGrath finished his football career up at Eastlake last year, the former Ainsley Junior, former New South Wales ACT Rams. I'm not sure if this is sustainable from the Tuggeranong Footy Club to just chip the ball around. I don't know if they're good enough to do that all day. I'll be trying to move it as quick as I possibly could. As they chip it around, that's 4 kicks inside the back 50. It's out towards Lovett. Lovett, he gets an opportunity to chip it there towards Hun. There is the turnover here. They'll just sweat on it. It's out towards that there of Cleaver. Benny Cleaver was dispossessed by the strongly built Stoyanov. Stoyanov out there towards, I think that is the 53. That is Mike Ryan in the debut, as Daniel said at the top of the program. It was Martling who flew with that one. He should have no right to fly for that young Sam Martling, but he does it week in, week out. The long sleeve number 2 for the Eastlake Demons from South Australia, Sammy Martling, 20 goals for the season, is at 21. He gets an opportunity to put the Demons first on the board here. 13-minute mark of the first quarter. Sam Martling is shooting for goal. Can he make it 21 for the season? Slight bruise. Oh, Sam, that was terrible off the boot. And he sprays that one. That's just a minor score there for Sam Martling. Undone all his good work there, Daniel.
Yeah, he's had a really good start to the year. Kicked 5 in round 1 against Belconnen, and since then he's sort of been copping a fair bit of attention from some of the good defenders in the competition. So he joked earlier in the day if he remains goalless today after a few weeks he'll retire. So hopefully he can get a couple on the board if that's we don't want to lose him this time of the year. So he'll be a bit disappointed about that, I'd say.
I'd say there was a thinly veiled threat there.
Yeah.
Martling trying to be one of the jokesters. That was a bit of a prankster around the club, but there's that short kick again. There's a turnover. Not sustainable, Tuggeranong Football Club. Just play long and direct footy. Don't overpossess it. A little bit of feet coming into the game. It's Ralston making clash there with Lovett. The umpire will throw it in. The two big fellas go at it. Is McGrath, I think, there against Armstrong, who had to battle that one out. Yep, neither side is able to get a decisive clearance, but it's out there. He's got to run and carry it as Willoughby. That's a poor kick off the boot. That's his second poor turnover. So turnovers hurt you at this sort of level. It's a free kick here now to the Demons. It's going to be taken by big Ned Brophy Williams. He's had to fill up and step up to the plate, hasn't he, Daniel, with Big Gibson out?
Yeah, nicknamed himself Quadzilla, the big fella. He's got some big tree trunk legs on him there, and he battles hard for us. So obviously undersized for a ruckman, but he's got a bit of spring and generally not too bad with his skills, but he's let himself down there. So
Jacob Clark's run on nicely there, but it was a good lead-up play there, and they held on to that as they streamed forward with their run and spread with the Tuggeranong Hawks. It's up to Clark to make the right decision here going forward. He goes in there towards McGrath, and he finds that of McLeod, who was just given too much room there by John Van Mew as he got lost in the traffic, but he goes sideways across here towards that of, it was the number 8 for that of Chris Robinson, who'd followed the ball up. I don't think that was the right move from McLeod. It's just they haven't got any confidence in going forward. They haven't got that big go-to forward target, I don't think, the Tuggeranong Hawks.
Yeah, they try to get it out to that open side. They'll kick sideways a lot and try and open up their forward line and get it out into space. So something that at times works, but yeah, like you said, can be pretty dangerous if you can turn it over through that part of the ground. So.
Absolutely. And there we see an example of it. It's Xavier McMahon. It's out there towards the butcher in Moody. Joshua Moody, the number 1. He gets the ball long down the line out towards Aaron Bruce. Out towards Dingo Rolson, fresh off 9 goals last week. He had an outstanding game against the Redland Bombers. He'll want that one forever. So, of course, he's racked up 150 games earlier this year. So, a very durable performance. He's at the top of his game right now. But anyway, it's out the end of the footy, and that's taken away there by Todd Smith, the number 9 for the Hawks. He drives the ball down towards Pocock with his 3rd mark of the first quarter in the opening 50. He's really got to make use of it now and let McLeod set up there, and they need some small front and centres, but Tuggeranong making all the play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you got Pocock's obviously dangerous up forward. Perry's had a few cracks at him throughout his career, and Pocock's probably got the wood over him, but Perry will battle hard, and he's slotted that one through there. He's normally pretty good set shot on goal, Pocock, and he's very dangerous. So play at either end of the ground, but I think, in my opinion, he's the most dangerous forward. So we have to try and keep him quiet for the rest of the day if we're to win this one. So
absolutely, he's got a great set of hands above his head, Ash Pocock. I think he's one of the strongest ones over his head in the competition. And he gets his first of the afternoon and the Hawks 3rd. So as they skip away to a handy lead here, it is 3-1-19 to 2 behinds. Eastlake would want to get the motor on, otherwise they'll cop a fearful tongue lashing from Guy Cannon and Tony Burke at quarter time, I would suggest, in the all-star coaching box of the Eastlake Demons. As we go back to the middle of the ground, and there should be a free kick. You're going to get pinged there if you're not careful, Xavier McMahon, but it's out to Lee McMahon, out to Moody. Moody gets a quick kick out there to Mardling, just playing in front with Sam Mardling. The 2 South Australians playing with a little bit of telepathy. Moody to Mardling, the 2 M's, the M&M's. And here they go again, the M&M's. It's out there towards that there of the 53, the Mike Ryan. Ryan with out to Smith, so taken down. Here's Armstrong, and he doesn't know what to do with it. It's now out to Brabazon. Brabazon with the first for the Demons. It's that class that's going to come through all the time. Ryan Brabazon with his first.
Yeah, he's definitely all class. Bradbury coming back from a pretty serious knee injury, same as what I had last year, the MCL tear, and it's always difficult just to get that confidence back, but that'll be good for his confidence. I think he played about 40 or 50 minutes last week and ended up with 20 touches, so he's definitely knows how to find the footy, and everyone knows that, so it's good for him to get on the board early on for us.
What did you say it was, an MCL?
Yeah, medial cruciate ligament tear.
Oh, right. So
not the ACL, which is
and not the PCL. So
not the PCL at the front, but yeah, the medial, which is the inside of the knee.
Right.
And often it's not as serious as an ACL, which you see a lot of the footballers going out with now. So generally it's an 8 to 10 week injury. Mardling had a similar thing last year as well, and missed about 8 weeks. So yeah, it definitely doesn't sort of keep you out for the year.
Done well to come back in 6th then, Brad.
Yeah, he looks after himself. He's very professional. Obviously, he's been in the AFL system and knows how to get himself right. And sure, there'll be plenty of recovery sessions down there at Bondi Beach every morning. So he'll be doing all right, I think.
Of course, Ryan Brabazon, the former Swan star, former Claremont star, now at the Eastlake Demons. As we get back to the footy here, it's thrown in there to the umpire. Big Hartman got his hands on the ball first there, giving the first use of the footy out to the Tuggeranong midfielders, but not really capitalising on it. And it's out there towards O'Connell. He gets a quick kick through the air there, out towards another impressive first-year player in Matty Lang. He's really held his own down there, but is taken away there by Cleaver. It is out there, and they just muck around with the footy. They can't afford to do that, but they're good enough to mop up here. It's out towards, I think it's Robinson, is it? No, it wasn't Robinson, it was Cleaver again, and he just bombed away out towards that of Moody, and it was just over the boundary line, right in front of the Jack Fingleton scoreboard. 16 minutes gone. It is Tuggeranong 3-1-19 to 1-2-8. Of course, if you missed us earlier, it was an enthralling contest in the first of the double headers, with the Tricolours keeping their season alive with a comprehensive victory over the second place Belconnen. It was 2v6. It was Belconnen. They got steamrolled by the Tricolours. Daniel, did you see any of that game?
Yeah, I saw the second half, and Belconnen looked like they might have had a bit of a charge kick the first or the last quarter, and But to Ainsley's credit, Rookie does a good job with them, and the big fellas up forward I thought looked pretty dangerous in Luke Jajura, I think is how you pronounce his last name, and he looked pretty dangerous along with Josh Bennett down there, who's I think will be leading the goal kicking this year. So definitely Ainsley, if they can get the footy in there, they've got a pretty potent forward line, and you get Crook and guys like that rolling through there. So a lot of teams would be worried if Ainsley do sneak into that 5 and play good finals footy. So
of course, that was on the back of Nick Payne being out, another sharpshooter for the Tricolours. But the big fellas you're talking about, Luke Jajura with 6, and Bennett is the leading goal scorer in the competition. He added to his tally with 5, so it takes his season's tally to 43. So very impressive for Joshua Bennett.
Yeah, he's burst on the scene this year, hasn't he? I think maybe a few injuries and things like that have probably given him opportunity to be that focal point up forward. I know we played a fair bit of footy against him last year, and he probably didn't have the year he's having this year. So it's just guys like that get an opportunity to really take it on board, and he's been really good for him this year.
Absolutely. Of course, his father, a former Western Bulldog, Daniel, in case you didn't know. It's over to the Stoyanov, the missile, out to Stoyanov again. He'll kick this, don't worry about that. No, he hasn't. He's let me down. Ricky Stoyanov, you've let me down there, son. So that's the third behind for the Eastlake Demons, as they just made away with a chain of errors from the Tuggeranong players in the centre of the ground. They've got to make better defensive decisions. It's out to Robinson. That's the giveaway kick, out to Lovett, out towards McGrath. This is the kick that they need to get right. McGrath directs the traffic, so it's play on now. McGrath, he goes long down the line. That was the get out kick. It only goes about 25 metres there towards, I think it is Cleaver out there, is it? Is it Cleaver? No, it's the 4 and Ben Simons. Simons goes long and direct down the line. Free kick against the 41 Hartman against Van Muers, or was it against McLeod? Van Muers, he gets an opportunity to get that big left foot down and put it down towards Hayden Armstrong. He was pushed under the footy. It's an area that he really needs to work on. Hayden Armstrong is backing into the pack, but that's a good kick out there by McGrath. There's a run there of, I think it's Simons, is it? Yep, it was Simons. Hartman was out there spectating. You're going to get carved up in this competition, mate, if you're going to spectate. And it's out towards Van Muers. He's chased by Kelly, a valiant chase out towards Mesman. Mesman takes them all on there, and he takes on Clark and Kelly. He treated them with contempt, but only as far as Brent McLeod. McLeod with an opportunity with 2 goals to name in this opening quarter. He gets an opportunity. Centre wing drives the ball long, keeps it down the line there, and that was a good grab, but it wasn't paid, so he was a little bit unlucky. And that was well done to Jacob Clark. He battled there manfully out towards Clark. A quick handball there. It was a good handball there from Toby Richards, only as far as, what have they got here?
I think it's a push behind the play. It's just number 22 there, Tuggeranong's just come in and shoved Sam Smith over. A bit soft free kick, but just unnecessary. Didn't really need to do it. So
just when they were mounting a forward pressure, it's the decision making that lets Tuggeranong down, and it is now Brophy Williams, the self-proclaimed, what do you call him?
Quadzilla. Big
Quadzilla.
Big
Quadzilla.
Yeah.
He has got legs like tree trunks. It's out to Lee McMahon. McMahon over to Wiles. Wiles needs to break the line with this kick that he does. Wiles goes long over the line there, out towards Ralston. He fell over, and it was now taken away by Robinson. Robinson with a quick handball out the back there, out there towards the runner Pocock. That's going to be, it's all, and it's out to Van Muers. Van Muers was tackled there, and it was a good out there to Cleaver. Cleaver with a quick handball over to Pocock, out there towards Clark. He battles manfully, he spins out of the tackle, out there towards Toby Richards. He goes backwards as far as Luke Andretta, and they made some critical errors when handling the football, Daniel.
Yeah, they just probably overused the footy there. I think if you can get Pocock one-on-one and get the footy out in front of him, there's not many blokes that'll outmark or spoil him if you can get his hands out in front. But if you keep over-possessing and kicking it on top of his head, he's not going to stand much of a chance, especially if he's got someone a bit taller than him like Van Muers or even McMahon, who's probably got him for height a little bit there. So if they can get the footy going forward to their one-on-ones, they look like they might be pretty dangerous. So
there you have it. You're spot on there, Daniel, as the umpire throws it back in from yet another boundary line throw-in. It's Quadzilla doing battle with Hartman. Quadzilla was the victor on this occasion. Out to Mesman, that's dropping the footy umpire. I don't know how many chances you get. That was dropped cold there. Hun, he flies at it. And there's the first quarter. It is Tuggeranong making all the play. 3-1-19, leading the Eastlake Demons 1-3-9. It's the Eastlake Demons v the Tuggeranong Hawks, and it's a turn up for the books here at quarter time. It is the Tuggeranong Hawks 3-1-19 to 1-3-9. Joining me in the commentary box this afternoon is Eastlake player and Essendon Bomber talent scout Daniel Ryle, giving us some valuable insight into A, the AFL system, and B, the Eastlake players, and of course what it's like to play as a player on some of the opposing sides. So it's been a promising start here to the Hawks, Daniel.
Yeah, like we spoke about in the first quarter there, if they can get a sniff, they're going to be right in the mix, and they showed that when we played them early in the year, and McGrath will have them hyped up for it, there's no doubt about that. So
it was Brophy Williams doing battle with Big Channon in the middle of the ground. Channon's now really got a stand-off. It's out to the destroyer in Stoyanov. He's a strongly built man, Ricky Stoyanov, of course, coming off a shoulder reconstruction. I thought he pounded a rich vein of form last week, and he's been one of the chief architects as to why Eastlake's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, he's really showed his worth when we've recruited him as a bloke who we thought would, be a real big strong body for us in the middle and be able to also get on the outside. His big booming kick, he can bank from 50, and injuries and confidence with his form and things like that have probably really hindered him last year and early on this year, but he's really come in and shown us why there's a lot of hype around him, so you expect him to play some pretty good footy for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. We'll go back to that point of injuries because a lot of people don't understand that, but here's an intercept here on the back flank there, and that was well intercepted there. I think it was Scott Newhouse there for the Tuggeranong Hawks, but only as far as Sammy Smith, the speedy Sam Smith. He gets it over to Wiles, who sold some candy, but he was tackled by Channon in a poor attempt there by Matty Channon. It leaves Bruce unattended. He's Stoyanov. He was going to pull the trigger, then he'd spin it before he'd got it. He was tackled strongly to the ground, and he knew it. And that was a great tackle there by the small man in Toby Richards onto the much bigger body there of Rick Stoyanov. And he's hurt Rick Stoyanov out there only as far as Peter Clark. Clark now with an opportunity, centre wing. As Stoyanov went to the ground, got up very gingerly. It's out there towards McGrath as they overpossess the footy again, the Hawks, and it's out towards Newhouse. He goes long down the line towards Channon. Channon gets the big arms up, but he doesn't take the mark. Should have been a free kick there to the Tuggeranong player, but it wasn't. It's an interesting thing, Daniel, injuries in your body. Obviously, you're just coming back from injuries, and it is very hard to get confidence, and people don't understand about that. They think it's an easy game, or, X, Y, and Z's injured or whatever, but it does take a fair bit of time to get your body right and to get confidence in your body that you can actually go at full tilt, because it is a very solid contact sport.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we often talk about that it could be at times more difficult to come back from injury at the semi-professional level than it is at AFL level. You don't have that 24 hours, 7 days a week support. A lot of our guys are tradesmen. I know Stoy's a plumber, and so you can't just kick his feet up and relax and wait till he's right. He's got to go to work 5 days a week and try and challenge all that, go to training and whatever else comes with life. So yeah, it's definitely challenging, but I guess most NEAFL clubs will be similar, but Eastlake's fantastic in their support for injured players. I know that there's never any questions asked with support and financial support and things like that, and our services through physio and doctors and that are A-class. So our boys get back pretty easily, so it's good.
There you go, there you have it, but it also, not to mention the financial cost that's involved on as Shannon lost the ball in sight there. He doesn't really have a good understanding of the game with the ball in the air there, Matty Channon. He's a big man, but it's out towards Brabazon. It was punched away there, and she's good enough to mop it up. It's out towards Quadzilla. Quadzilla drives the ball inside there towards Martley. Not sure he's the right option inside the 450 there, but Hun tries to make his way through. Only as far as a quick handball there by Andretta. Andretta was a good handball on the end of that, and I think it goes out to Big Hartman. Is it? Yep, Hartman. No, it's Pocock. He leans back on the footy to the run there of Clark. There's a quick handball over there towards that of Simon. Simon sees... What's the umpire called there? He should have really given the ball over there to Brent McLeod, who was unattended. It would have put them within a scoring distance there. So Right underneath the scoreboard here at Manuka Oval, or Star Trek Oval it is now called, it is the Tuggeranong Hawks 3-1-19 to 1-3-9. Neither side yet to penetrate the scoreboard in this second half of the doubleheader round 14 clash North Eastern Football League. Brought to you live through NEAFL.com.au. I'm Brett Davis, and joining me is Daniel Ryle, the former West Wyalong player, and obviously his father played for Area Park in the strong Farrer League as it was then. Now it's driven down here, and it was just intercepted there by Xavier McMahon. The most improved player on the Eastlake list for my liking. It's out to McMahon. He's done some big jobs in the last couple of weeks as well. Out there towards Sammy Smith, you can recognise that run anywhere. Smith gets a little bit of a toe poke and a helicopter up there towards Ralston, but he was good enough to recover. The speedy Dean Ralston is very good below his knees, so Ralston gets it over to the unattended Ben Maiden. Guess what? Here it goes to the goal sneaking over wire. That's their second. You stop Eastlake's run and you'll stop their scoring, because those blokes are absolutely dead-eye dicks, Daniel.
Yeah, Ralston's, he's a very agile bloke. He battled during the year just with injury and confidence in his body again, and we keep harping on about it, but when he's up and about, he's one of the most damaging players, and wheeling around on his right boot there would be pretty tough to play on. But yeah, we got a Maiden obviously out on the wing there. He's played through a bit through the middle and on the wing, and he's very smart running forward, and he's very underrated, I think he is. So
absolutely. What he did there is he got McGrath, who didn't want to run down with him, and took him right to the goal square. So it was a very clever play there by Ben Maiden, who set up the goal there for, and that's a good chat by Shannon, only as far as Todd Smith. Smith with a clever kick out of the middle down towards McLeod. He got taken down there, did McLeod out towards McMahon, over to Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith only as far as, I think it's the number 4, is it? Is it Benny Simons out there? It is, it's Simons, the number 4, but that's a poor kick in towards Kelly. Need to make better use of it there, Ben Simons. So they take it away, the Eastlake Demons, through Gumley. Gumley out towards that of Lang. Lang quickly plays onto that trusty left boot. It was a bit of a scrubber of a kick, only as far as Ralston. Ralston, he got caught, he was in two minds. He tried to be a little bit too cute there, and that's a good defensive effort there, and it's out there towards that of Todd Smith. Smith with another handball out there. He gets it back again. He tries to take on Ralston, Brabazon. I'm not sure that's the right idea. And it's again, it's in there to Toby Richards, and he gets it just a quick kick out of the ground there. It's out towards that of Pocock in a battle with McMahon. That's in the back, if you don't mind. The umpire, which way is he going to see it? He's going to call it no way. It was a crude attempt at tackle there from Benny by Ash Pocock on Xavier McMahon. He went straight into his back, and that's where you've got to be protected for the ball. It's down to Brophy Williams, out towards Brabazon, out of bounds on the full. That was out of bounds on the full. The umpire's seen it another way. It was a long way from that, Daniel.
Yeah, I think you might be saying he might have been out of bounds before he kicked it, so one of those touch and go ones. Just got to back the umpire in there. Maybe I'm being a bit biased. But
No, I think you called it right. You backed the umpire in on that occasion, so yeah, I think he was out of bounds. I was just testing your loyalties there. So anyway, back to the play now, and it's a good tackle there. That's in the back again as he was taken to the ground. It should have been a free kick there to the number 27 in Peter Clark, as he was ridden into the back by Mesman. But not to worry, the umpire gets another opportunity. You must protect the player going for the ball in that situation. He's another new player. I haven't seen a lot of Todd Smith for the Tuggeranong Hawks. I don't know where he's come from. It's out to Brabazon. He gets a quick handball over there to Brophy, out there to Smith, out there to the Stoyanov, the destroyer. Stoyanov goes long down towards O'Connell, and that's out of bounds on the floor. Yep, that it is. Round 14, cross-conference clash. No cross-conference clashes this week here at Manuka Oval. It's the double header where we had Aisley keeping their season hopes alive. That should be a free kick because he encroached the mark there, was O'Connell. Out towards Perry, who gets a big fist on the ground. So 2-3 Eastlake Demons plays 3-1 the Tuggeranong Hawks in the second of the double header here at Manuka. Of course, Ainsley Tricolours got over the second place Belconnen Magpies today in the earlier game. Who's it going to be this time? It's 1 to Tuggeranong this season after they jumped Eastlake on a Thursday night out there at Greenway Oval, and they're currently leading the way here, but they need to kick a couple of goals. It's out to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer tries to sell some candy, then backs it up with a quick kick off the ground. Only as far as Jake White. No name, only name in sake by, of course, the Brumbies coach Jake White as we watch the Wallabies go head-to-head with the British Lions in the first test tonight, Daniel. So that'll be an enthralling clash. It's a real plethora of sport on the box tonight for those wishing to watch it. Of course, here's a quick kick. Here's an opportunity out towards Cleaver. He pushes the ball forward out there towards McLeod. He has trouble turning on those dodgy knees. He's troubling Johnny Van Mueller's out there when he gets near the footy, McLeod. So I think he might have met his match out there, John Van Mueller's. McLeod.
Yeah, I
it's
think
an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I was talking to the coach, Tuggeranong's coach during the week, McGrath, and he said McLeod matched up on Klemke last week and bagged a few. So he's definitely a dangerous player, and he knows how to use his body pretty well. And when he gets a shot on goal, he very rarely misses. So
it's out here to the speedy Joey Hancock. Have a look at this bloke's set of wheels. He just turns him inside out towards the first gamer in. And that's the 53 in Mike Ryan. That was a good kick there by Ryan. He's fallen over as he delivered the footy. That was unlucky there for the Tuggeranong defender in Lovett. As far as Robinson, who was forced to lay the tackle. So right in front of the Eastlake goal, 25 metres out directly in front. The umpire will throw it up again. It's Hartman who comes in with a big punch. He looks for the boundary line as far as Willoughby, but it was taken there by Ralston. It wasn't taken out. You must play the umpire's whistle. It's out to Wiles, who sells some candy, out there towards the Tuggeranong defenders. Now they get it into the hands of Jake White. White belts the ball down only as far as O'Dwyer. McLeod slipped over, and that wasn't McLeod out there that slipped over. I think it was Pocock. It's out now towards Clark. Clark gets an opportunity to spot up McLeod. He didn't really get to that one there. And here's another opportunity to the 27 in Peter Clark. He's been everywhere in this quarter. Out towards Kelly. Now they get it out towards Pocock. Pocock and Van Moers. Van Moers and Pocock. It was taken there by Clark again. Out towards Pocock, and it's been rushed over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's not bad use there by Tuggeranong, even though Van Muir's cut it off. If he had just blazed away there, the Demons had 3 or 4 back and they just would have rebounded the footy. So it's obviously an instruction by McGrath that not to just bomb the footy long, use it short. Although they turn the footy over a bit, they're keeping themselves in the contest. There's no uncontested marks in their forward line. So if they keep plugging away at it, I think they might if they can get it right, they might be able to break the game open a bit. So.
Absolutely, there's not a lot of contested or uncontested marks, like you say, for the Eastlake Demons, and that's the key to their run-on play, isn't it? So anyway, it's out here towards, I think it's Kelly out there again, and he was pushed in the back there, or I think that was Kelly that got pushed in the back, but it's taken away here by Xavier McMahon out towards Benny Maiden, who was able to get free again. He's been pursued hotly by young Clark. Jacob Clark fell over and needed to keep his feet. Handball over to Sammy Smith. Sam Smith puts an up and under. Get under that one, and that'll be Robbo that takes the mark. It is. It's Chris Robinson that slides in and takes the mark. So he gets an opportunity now to set Tuggeranong into attack.
Yeah, terrible decision there by Smith. He should have backed himself to hit Bruce on the lead, and that's what I talk about with Tuggeranong. They're not settling for that long kick. Just to no one to the Demons setting back. They're hitting them, trying to hit that short lead up forward. Although it's Bruce was presenting there, Smith probably should have lowered his eyes and hit that lead up. So I'm sure Berkey won't be very happy about that.
There you go. Lower your eyes, and that's a very good point. As Liam Greenwell gets it down there towards that of Cleaver, but it's sharked away by McMahon. He puts it into the lead of Ralston. There was no stopping that one. He beats Matt Bernasconi to the punch here. It is Dean Ralston lining up for his first. 28 goals for the season is Dean Ralston. He's leapfrogged in one game. Sam Mardling is the leading goal kicker from the Demons. He gets an opportunity for his 29th. Gets an opportunity, more importantly, to put the Demons in front, Daniel.
Yeah, it hasn't been the best start, but if they can just sneak in here and go into, obviously there's a bit longer to go in the quarter, if they can go into half-time a few goals up, I think they'll be happy with that after their poor start. So
he's just pushed that to the near side, so it's only a minor score for Ralston. He's failed to add to his season tally, Dean Ralston. And here we go with a quick kick out from Robinson. As Tuggeranong tried to hold on to the footy. Into the back half now, they go long and direct down the line into the middle of the ground, looking for the big ruckman in Hartman. He's taken 3 or 4 down with him. It's only as far as the Tuggeranong players. And here is a scrappy contest out there towards that of, I think it's the 11, which is Toby Richards. He's been everything. A couple of new players there for the Tuggeranong. That's Richards, Smith. I'm not sure where. I haven't seen them this year. I don't know where they've come from.
Yeah,
actually.
I have a feeling that they might be. Heard they're flying a few up every couple of weeks, just to not on a long-term contract, but just on release and getting them a couple of games throughout the year, and then in the hope that they might enjoy it and come down and play footy for the club next year. I think it's an approach Tuggeranong are trying to adopt, given that they don't have endless supplies of money to spend on recruiting players. So they're trying to be a bit proactive in their recruiting and try a few different things. So to their credit, that's the way you've got to go about it at a club where you're not going to be able to offer massive contracts financially. So yeah, good luck to them, see how they go.
It's not a bad philosophy. I mean, it's a system that works in the under-18 system, is you fly blokes in and out of the country all the time. Here's an opportunity. He's got to be good enough here. He's seen Ryan Brabazon, and it's here he's hit McLeod, so that was a good effort. It could be one of those flying fly-outs in Toby Richards. He's been in everything out there, the number 11 for the Hawks. And McLeod gets an opportunity for his 3rd, and Tuggeranong's 4th. Is he going to be good enough to get it?
You probably back him in, I reckon. He's a pretty good set shot, I reckon.
McLeod, we're right at home with Brent McLeod. Pretty good set shot. He makes no mistake about that. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. That's his 3rd. That's Tuggeranong's 4th. As they gain back the ascendancy here at Star Trek Oval in Monica, it is Tuggeranong 4-1-25, 2-4-16, round 14 of this Northeastern Football League clash. The double header, of course, this is the second game. The earlier game was the Aisley Tricolours against the Belconnen Magpies. Here we have 4 playing 9th, so 4v9. It's an interesting clash, and it's a real turn-up for the books, where the Tuggeranong Hawks currently lead, Daniel.
Yeah, we'll see how that goal, obviously, it's always the way. Miss one up one end and then the opposition go down and bang one down the other and just kills you. So Demons are going to have to sort of, what's happening now, they're not going to work, so they're going to have to try a few different things. I think the big thing is if they can get the footy out to the open side, and that one out here with Maiden didn't sit and fumble and it just slows it down again, but they can get out that open side and run the footy and get in a bit quicker, might be the chance to get a few more goals on the board. But Tuggeranong's credit, they're not letting them run on the outside. They're going with us and really hurting us on the turnover. So
the other thing is Eastlake are very slow to adapt to the transition as well. They don't adjust well when sides come up with a plan against them. But here you go, here's Bruce, and it's taken away by Lovett. Lovett gets a long handball over there towards that of Todd Smith, another one of those players that we spoke about. Full credit to Tuggeranong if they're trying that approach. You've got to try something. If it break, you've got to work, haven't you? So there's an old adage, and full credit to, of course, they're being led ably by the former federal member in Annette Ellis, who's the president of their footy club, but it's out there towards Benny Simons. He was tackled and dispossessed. It's over towards Lang. Lang gets it on that left foot, out in front of Ralston and Robinson. Who's going to be the victor here? You had to keep your feet, Chris Robinson. Dean Ralston, you're going to make him pay. Yes, you know you're not. Unlucky there for Dean Ralston. So, Chris Robinson, you must keep your feet.
Pretty good matchup, I think, there for the Hawks. Robinson's probably, in my opinion, he's probably one of the most underrated players in the competition. I know Tuggeranong rate him very highly. He's a very strong defender. He's probably a bit deceptive. He's got really long arms, big hands, can take a grab, and can play a lot taller than he is. So good kick there by Perry. Better use.
Yeah, he's found Matty Lang. Is Lang good enough on 50? Right, he'll kick right on the paint here. Nan, let us know. You'll know if he's good enough to dob this one through. Would you like to back him in?
He's got some good attributes, Langy, but I don't know if he can dob it from 50 out here. But see how he goes. He might prove me wrong, hopefully.
I think he's proved you right. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but there. Free kick towards Tuggeranong. What have they done here? I'm not sure. I can't follow it. I've lost. So, but it was a free kick there awarded to Matt Bernasconi. And it's in there towards Greenwell. This is the next part of his game that he needs to really take on board, Liam Greenwell. He needs to run and carry the footy. He does very well at winning and beating his opponent. He's been in their best nearly week in, week out. So here we go. Here's another opportunity to run and carry the footy again. And that's a good grab there, and that should be 50 metres. He comes strongly into the back of there. It was Mike Ryan, I think. Oh, and he's hurt him. Absolutely. So I thought that was a late challenge, Daniel.
Yeah, probably.
Tuggeranong player is down.
Yeah, it definitely was a bit late. I looked at him, I thought he probably should go, and then at the last second he jumped, and it's
That's
one of those
4
ones.
weeks in the AFL.
Yeah, I know. That's one of those ones where he's sort of half not sure, and probably just needed to hold back on that
technique,
contest there. So
if you had a number 7 on your back and you played for North Melbourne, that's 6 weeks.
yeah, poor old Jackie Zeeble, he cops the rough end of the deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But back to the footy here, it's Sam Smith, and here falling over was Matt Bernasconi. It must be quite slippery underfoot out there, as a light rain did fall here earlier. It's out towards Armstrong, who takes a bounce, a run and carry bounce. Hayden Armstrong, he'll try and go for goal. Is he good enough to go for home? No, he's not. It beats Robinson, though, over the boot, as Eastlake continue to pepper the goals down there with not much luck. And they get a minus score. So it is now 7 points the difference here in round 14. What's the umpire?
I think they've called for a stretcher here, so but not sure who it is out on the far side there for Tuggeranong, but it looks like he's in a bit of world of hurt. So it's one of those ones where you never know, with that knee coming in the back, hitting the ribs or the kidneys or something like that. So hopefully he's all right. See how he goes
Let's
here.
hope he is all right. So we don't like to see that. Of course, Stephen Coate copped a pretty nasty injury. The stretcher was on in the earlier game here. It's just not the way we want to see it played. So anyway, he'll learn. as we come back here to Star Trek Oval to a sickening sight as the Tuggeranong player gets carried off the field by all the trainers. We don't like to see that in footy. Let's hope that he's all right. Of course, young Jack Goodall from the Redland Bombers last week was involved in a nasty incident and resulted in his ear having to be sewed back on. Let's hope he's all right. A big cheerio to Jack Goodall. I don't know if he's listening, but our regards are with you. And it's out there towards Toby Richards. He puts it up and under out there. Get under that one, boys. It's out to Big Channon. He gets a handball out towards that of Cleaver. Out towards that. Quickly over there towards Andretta. Now it's back out to Cleaver. Out to the run there of the 36 in Timmy Cleaver. Cleaver gets it out towards McLeod. Out towards only as far as Van Moors. But that was Aaron Wiles who dropped the ball cold out towards... Their tackling pressure is fierce without reward there, the Tuggeranong Hawks. Out towards Martling, who got a quick kick off the ground, only as far as Stoynoff. He'll bang this long. No, he won't. He's seen Maiden out the corner of his eye. Maiden will line it up and pull the trigger, you betcha. Only as far as the behind post. Benny Maiden, that's their 7th for the quarter, so they've made all the play. I think it's a little bit of pressure and a little bit of the mental demons coming back to haunt Eastlake here. 4-1-25 to 2-7-19. Round 14 clash in a must-win game for the Eastlake Demons if they're to prove that they're competition heavyweights. Out there towards Liam Greenwell, he's beaten on the ground there. And it's the Eastlake players as they shuffle the ball over the boundary line there in front of the Kingston Physiotherapy sign. Let's hope the bloke on the stretcher for Tuggeranong doesn't need too much. There's the boundary line throwing 65 metres from the Eastlake goal. It's Channon to do battle with big Ned Brophy Williams. It was only as far as the Eastlake midfielder out towards Armstrong who stuck one mid out for it. Out towards Martin who kept at it. Can he add to Eastlake's tally? No, he can't. He can't add to his own personal tally. That's his second minor for the afternoon.
Well, no Berkey well, and it's one of his absolute coach killers is inaccuracy in front of goal. So I'm a bit surprised the boys cop a bit of a stern talking to at half time. So
the rooms at half time to get the fly on the wall treatment, beat the lurker at half time. So it's out towards Gumley. Gumley tried a cute little kick only as far as Greenwell. He was pushed down after he got kicked by Gumley. It's out towards Xavier McMahon. He runs and attacks the footy strongly. Both the Tuggeranong players got sucked in there only as far as Ryan. Ryan got pushed over. Now out to Brophy Williams. Out towards Gumley. He'll take him on there. Gumley in the middle of the ground. It's out there only as far as Pete McGrath. McGrath gets an opportunity to settle the play down. McGrath out there towards that of, I think it's Benny Simons out there. Yes, it is. It's Ben Simons. Simons, the number 4, gets it down there towards Pocock and he takes it in front. That was a good, clever kick. He realised he had the inexperienced Ryan on him there. So Ash Pocock, Big Hartman needs to take Perry back to the square. Here he goes. Make a contest out of it, son. No. Man in front. What's he going to do? No. He's paid Van Moors. Van Moors gets an opportunity to clear the ball through Moody. Haven't called his name much in this second quarter. It's Moody. He gets it across to Armstrong. He'll take this with no troubles at all. Armstrong, he gets an opportunity to bring the ball down through the centre of the ground. He kicks it across to Wiles. Wiles gets an opportunity to run and carry now through the middle of the ground here at Star Trek Oval. This will be an attacking shot on goal. It'll be Wiles. He gets it out towards that of Bruce. There's a grab for you, Aaron Bruce. In spite of the rich efforts from the number 20, Matt Bernasconi, he seems to have hurt Aaron Bruce. Of course, Aaron carrying a rib injury through the season, forced him to pull out of the ACT representative carnival. He gets an opportunity. Can he bang Eastlake's 3rd for the quarter?
Yeah, he's one of probably the best players one-on-one, I reckon, in the competition when he's up and going. Very good overhead and deceptively strong, and his goal kicking's been a little bit off this year, but he'd hope that he'd bang this one through for the Demons. Really important shot on goal for this. 10 scoring shots to 5 and they're still behind, so you'd like to hope he can bang this one through.
Absolutely, as Aaron Bruce, we ride this home with Aaron Bruce. He's not a bad set shot at goal. He took that clutch mark. Is he going to give Eastlake the first time the lead for the afternoon? No, he's not. That's their 8th behind for the quarter. So it is a 2-9-21 to 4-1-25. Their game plan is really paying dividends at the moment, the Tuggeranong Hawks, as they go long down the middle of the ground towards Channon. He dropped it and fell over in the process. Big Matty Channon, he certainly played a couple of top-up games there for the GWS. He's been involved in the GWS Academy, but he's struggling with a bit of confidence at this level.
Yeah, you'd think if he, guys like that, they were talking about AFL level, they develop a bit later, and he's still only a young fella, so gets his hands to the footy plenty, so you'd hope that he can develop into a really strong, good ruckman for the club for another 100-odd games, and if you can strengthen his body up and take those contested marks, that's going to be his next step. So,
absolutely, certainly got all the trademark there to be that ruckman that they need going forward for the next 5 to 6 years. He's still only a baby in terms of footballing pedigree. But nonetheless, that was good play there by Brad Hunn, the solidly built Brad Hunn, and they bring the ball down through the ground, and it's in the arms there of Pocock. Pocock centre wing here under the light tower. It's going to be a long quarter because we had the stretcher and that bit of time off. We lost at least 5 minutes. It's Pocock. He drives the ball long down the ground there. It's down towards that Channon over there towards the top. It was a good handball only as far as Luke Andretta. Andretta has a quick kick at goal. Is it going to bounce fortuitously? You betcha. That's the difference at the moment. There's the Hawks second for the quarter. Unbelievable chain of events as Luke Andretta with a great goal there.
Yeah, he's not going to get his name on the score sheet there, but I think it was Sean Kelly there.
Absolutely.
Front and centre, perfect. It's bread and butter for a bloke his size, and he's mopped up, give that quick handball to release the bloke running forward. So, he won't get his name in the paper for that one, but he'll definitely get the credit of his teammates, I'm sure of that. So.
Absolutely, you'll get it as a score assist on Champion Data. Of course, NEAFL having access to all the Champion Data stats throughout season 2013. You can keep up to date with that as well through the link on the NEAFL website. Don't forget you can keep in touch with what's going on in and around the Northern and Eastern conferences through our websites, through the smartphone applications. Here's the quick reply. This is Armstrong. This is about his distance here, I think, Daniel, about 40, 45. Sometimes he has a tendency to get under the footy and kick it a little bit high. But Hayden Armstrong needs to go back and just put his head over the footy and kick this one.
Yeah, you see him, he swings the footy around a lot on his approach, and he gets it, often hit it and slide off the side of the boot, but he seems like he's pretty deliberate in his approach here. Yeah, off the side of the boot.
Off the side of the boot fortuitously, and it lands in the arms of Aaron Bruce. You couldn't have called it any better, as Hayden Armstrong tried to kick the cover off it, but it landed in the arms of Aaron Bruce. Is he going to get an opportunity to get the Demons a little bit closer to the Hawks here in this round 14 clash, as Nick Perry comes to the interchange as they look to change it up a little bit. Aaron Bruce 25, 30 metres out, Brabazon back onto the field. As it's rushed behind there from Chris Robinson. So good defensive work there from the Tuggeranong back six. Now, this is the interesting part. They need to hang tough here, the Hawks. It's out towards Robinson. He kicks it to himself. He gains a fair bit of distance there with a bit of run and carry. It's out there into the arms there of Cleaver. So they've done quite well to hold out the Eastlake Demons. It is the Tuggeranong Hawks in a turn-up for the books here in this round 14 clash. 5-1-31, 2-9-21 leading the Eastlake Demons. Welcome back to the second half of this round 14 clash of the double header here at Star Trek Oval in Manuka. It is the Tuggeranong Hawks in a turn-up for the books. 5-1-31 leading the Eastlake Demons 2-10-22. Can it be a repeat of round 2 where the Tuggeranong Hawks got over the top of the Demons? We had the lurker in the sheds at half time. What was said down in the Eastlake change rooms, Daniel?
Yeah, they were straight into the meeting room with Berkey, and door was shut, but don't think that blocked out too much of the sound. But there was a lot of yelling, so I was trying to make sense of as much as I can, but put the heat on a few individuals, and I think a few of the leaders in the group, I'm not going to name blokes, but it just sort of really highlighted that they need to put in a better effort than they have there, and sort of just said that it's a little bit embarrassing in a way, that, you know, not so much that it's the opposition, but just the effort that we've put in so far. So expect a few of the leaders within the group to stand up this second half. Otherwise, could be another spray come 3/4 time. So
here you go.
pretty good
for the
start.
First one. Good start. Here's Brabazon. Ralston to Brabazon. That was a poor turnover there from the Tuggeranong Hawks, and it's going to cost them a goal. Brabazon won't miss. Obviously, the Besser blocks, they echoed down there in the change rooms at half-time. Of course, some strong words would have been exchanged there. We half expected that. But nonetheless, it's how will Eastlake respond in this third quarter. It is Ryan Brabazon with the first reply. That's the first score for the afternoon. And this is a high-risk game plan here from Tuggeranong. They've got to be able to execute it with, fatigue and a lot of running forward. So it'll be interesting to see if they can carry it out to execution. Their first half execution of the game plan was wonderful. It's 3 points in it. It is at Tuggeranong 5-1-31 to 3-10-28. Of course, Eastlake peppered the goals in that second quarter, but just couldn't make it stick or count for anything, could they, Daniel?
Yeah, just Tuggeranong's tackling pressure's been first class, and like you said, they just really do let themselves down with skill errors, and that's going to come with an inexperienced group and guys that haven't played a lot of senior footy. But I guess the way you work into the game sometimes is through your defensive efforts. So that's sort of something I did hear Berkey highlight, is that tackling pressure and defensive running and things like that to get ourselves back into the games, what's going to win it, not running forward and cheating and things like that. So just expect a bit more intensity from the Demons this quarter, and if Tuggeranong can keep it up, you never know, they might get a couple of quick ones. So
there you go. You saw some positive body work there, or a slap on the back there from it was Stoyanov onto Jake Gumley for the defensive effort. But Tuggeranong, full credit to them, they're still going at it hammer and tong, and there was a good intercept there, only as far as the boundary line. That was a good intercept there from young Jacob Clark. He's really grown in stature as Clark for the Tuggeranong Hawks throughout the season 2013. As the umpire throws it in there, centre of the wing. It's out towards Cleaver, just hacked out of the air by the Tuggeranong midfield, only as far as O'Dwyer. You don't want it in his hands because he's deadly with the footy, O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer across to Van Moors. Van Moors is pursued by that of Richards, and it's tackled there, and he was dispossessed with the footy, and he gets a quick handball away there. Absolutely, and that's a good handball away there by Richards over towards that of Pocock with a poor kick there. It's out towards Pocock on the ground. He gets it away to Simons, quickly over to Clark. Clark with the inside there to Pocock. Pocock gets the ball on the boot quickly in front of Big Hartman, and Big Hartman, if you don't mind, he worked his way to the front in front of Mesman. The reigning best and fairest from last year for the Eastlake Demons was comprehensively outplayed there by the number 41 in Sam Hartman. He gets an opportunity to strike back for the Hawks and to put a further nail there, or put a further wedge in, and that was good play there by the big fella.
yeah, he's just picked the footy up quicker in the flight there. I think he's a bit of a suspect approach. He's banged it through. So just a bit of a poor defensive effort there by the Demons, who just had outnumbered the Hawks there and had two blokes sucked into the footy, and that's really cost them in the end. So I just need to try and get back to some one-on-ones, basics, and try and beat their opponent. So we'll see how things go here.
I think you just emphasised some really important points there, Daniel. Just one-on-one, simple footy. So big Sam Hartman, that was a great grab there in front of Mesman. Quite a turn-up for the books. It's the Tuggeranong Hawks, 6-1-37. 3:10:28 as the lights come on here at Star Track Oval. We play twilight football in this double-header of this round 14 clash of the North Eastern Football League Conference. Of course, you can keep up to date throughout the week through all the happenings through the NEAFL.com.au. Of course, NEAFL TV with Fiona Nelson. She brings you with a real wrap of around the Northern and Eastern Conference, a comprehensive wrap of all the round's actions. Of course, those following the Redland Football Club, they defeated the Sydney Hills Eagles 121-92, so the Hills Eagles losing that cross-conference, spoiling the Northern Eastern record, where an Eastern side hadn't lost to a Northern side. Well, no, that's incorrect, because Broadbeach Morningside beat Ainslie earlier in the year, so that is incorrect.
I think it's northern side that hasn't beaten eastern side in Canberra, is that right? Or down south? So
no, because Morningside beat Ainslie at Ainslie.
Oh, that's
Oval.
right. Yeah.
So anyway, but
tricked both of us then.
Absolutely. We'll just say what it is anyway. But the Redland Bombers got on track after their belting here. That was a dangerous kick, but it was pulled off there by Robinson in another poor kick. They need to execute this. So there'll be a shepherd played out here by Clark. He gets a run out there. That was good run there by Luke Andretta, a goal scorer. It's out towards Red Dog McLeod. McLeod sees the ball over there with a bit of help from Johnny Van Moors as the lights come brighter here at Amarnica Oval, or Star Trek Oval it is now known, for the football season.
Yeah, it's going to be obviously historical for the competition, and I was just talking to a few of the young under 18s boys down there for Eastlake, and they're really excited. They can run out under the bright lights of Manuka or Star Trek Oval, of course, and obviously it's going to be pretty fresh for the boys, I'd say, by the time the sun goes down, but they're really excited about it, so it's a good opportunity for the young rising stars to get out and have a crack at it under the lights of Manuka.
Of course, the Rising Stars take place after this game, and we see Andretta again, only to get tackled there by Maiden. But the tackling pressure of Tuggeranong inside the contest there has been fierce, Daniel, and it's anyone's game. I think Eastlake might have a little bit too much class at the end of the day, but full credit to Tuggeranong for being able to execute the game plan that they've come in, very specific game plan. Shannon first hand to the footy, and it only goes as far there as Brad Hunt as he gets the footy, his head over the footy, and he got caught high, and the reason he got a free kick because he went in after the footy.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you can cop 2 or 3 high ones, but it's that one where the bloke standing right in front of you and just makes that contact on top of the head, which the umpires don't like to see. So just a poor, clumsy free kick there by Brophy Williams. Just need to be a bit smarter.
Absolutely, right at home with Brad Hunt. He drives the ball long, and I think he's just kicked it off the side of the boot, and it looks like it was there. It was dropped there by Sam Smith in a solid tackle from McLeod, and another tackle there by and it was good defensive pressure by the Tuggeranong forwards there. They've executed the game plan again extremely well. They're not letting the ball come out at all costs. So I like the way that they ran out onto the ground together after half time. They looked a very tight unit. It's out to Big Hartman. He punches the ball towards goal. It's out there. It's going to be Clark. Is he going to get an opportunity to kick the goal? It's been socked off the ground there. Yes, it has. That was to Jacob Clark because he was lucky enough to get, what have we got here? We've got a free kick. What have we got? I can't quite see. The umpires are conferring there. I think it's a point. He's called a point. I thought it was a goal.
I think it's saying it might have come off the knee.
Right.
But that was those ones you see at AFL level, even when they go to the score review, they're still often the correct decision's not made. So, yeah, we'll see how we go here.
Should have been a free kick to the Tuggeranong defender there, but they're down on hands and knees, and it was well worked out in the end out towards Lovett. Lovett gets it by foot out there towards that of Newhouse. He gets an opportunity to settle the play down, and they come back towards that of Lovett, is it? Lovett goes across towards Simons. Oh, geez, they're dicing with death here, the Tuggeranong Hawks. It's out towards Channon. Channon dropped what he should have taken. As Big Matty Channon now, he has an opportunity to recover there, out towards that of Richards. He didn't quite want to take on the foot. He was Robinson there, but Big Matty Channon, it's what we talked about before in the call. He really needed to gobble that one up, didn't he?
Yeah, he works pretty hard. I was watching him earlier. He works hard forward and back and gets to some pretty good spots, but just lets himself down with skill errors. But like I said, he'll mature into his footy and his body hopefully in the next few years, and he'll become a quality ruckman, I think.
There's a good clearance there from Hunt out to Richards, and he was strongly met there was Sam Smith, and it's his he's having a real impact around the contest, is Toby Richards. So Tuggeranong are still throwing everything at Eastlake here. It's a 10-point margin in the second game of the double header. It's Ralston third man up, only as far as Pete McGrath, out there towards that of Cleaver, out towards Andretta. Andretta drives the ball forward towards Ash Pocock, and it was punched away over the boundary line. That's a good result for the Tuggeranong Hawks, just slowing the play down, playing it on their terms and at their level.
Yeah, I think McGrath's still sticking. His game plan is pretty obvious. Keep it a contest, keep it in close. Stoppage after stoppage, and if they don't want it to turn into a shootout, Tuggeranong, they want it to keep close. So Demons really trying to work hard here to break the game open, but obviously play it on Tuggeranong's terms at the moment. So
absolutely, I think throughout the week I read that the NEAFL tips to tip Tuggeranong by 34 points. It might make a liar of them. Anyway, it's the Hawks in front here by 10 points. It's Channon who gets first use. Out to Hunt out towards that of Cleaver. Cleaver drives the ball in towards that of, it's out towards McLeod. He's a star out there, Brent McLeod. He got ripped off the footy. I think the umpire's got no alternative but to call holding the ball. So that's a free kick to Eastlake. Let's see if they cover the exits. It's out to Van Meers. Van Meers out to Josh Moody. Moody now with an opportunity to go towards Smith. It was a good kick by foot there by Joshua Moody. He runs on. Out towards Sammy Smith. And now out towards Mesman. Centre wing broadcast side. Out to Mesman. He's a little bit unsure as what to do. Got to start moving around there, Channon, making play on quickly. It's Mesman. He puts a big up and under, looking for a forward out towards Armstrong. Armstrong puts one arm up in the air, only as far as the crummer in Mardling. Out there towards the speedy Joey Hancock. He gets an opportunity to post a goal. No, he gets a handball over the top to Ralston. Ralston will have no troubles about putting that one forward. That's the transition that they were looking for. Ralston gets his first for the afternoon.
Yeah, great. It's a great play there by young Joey Hancock. He's been a great story this year. He started playing under 18s at the start of the year. He's a pretty handy cricketer, so he plays most of the summer playing cricket with Western Creek, I'm pretty sure. So did limited pre-season, played a few games of under 18s actually at the start of the year, then into the reserves, and now he's played in the seniors for I think the last 3 or 4 weeks. So shows a bit of class there and a bit of toe, and I think it was a good play. He could have just blazed away, but he drew the defender in and popped that one over the top for an easy goal to Ralston. So good play there by young Hancock.
Absolutely, he doesn't look out of place in senior football, young Joey Hancock. I like his pace inside 50. He probably got a little bit more time than he realises, but anyway, they inch further back, closer to the Tuggeranong Hawks. It's Wiles in the middle of the ground out towards Mesman, and now it's out towards the solidly built Hun. Hun with a quick kick out to Clark. Clark finds the run there of Simons. Simons, the number 4, in towards Hun again, who followed that up nicely. Hun needed to take on Moody, fell over while he did. He drives it forward now, looking for that of McLeod. It was punched away by the Eastlake defence in O'Dwyer and Xavier McMahon, or was it? No, it was Sam Smith, who's now lining up on young Kelly. So that's not a bad matchup there in that back forward 50 for Eastlake.
He works pretty hard from the contest there, Big Honey. I think he might have got the clearance there and then he's on the end of it again. So he probably doesn't look like the built for the most elite runner, but he works pretty hard and runs smart patterns. So
absolutely,
that's how he gets on the end of the footy. So yeah, pretty deceptive I think at times.
That's well pointed out, and I think we're going to get a free kick here to Kelly. It seems Smith is getting worried out of it by Kelly's work inside the forward 50, just niggling, working away. Is young Sean Kelly, like you said, he might get an opportunity to get his name in the paper here, Daniel, with a shot on goal. 35 metres out. Let's see how he goes. Oh, he started it left and it stayed that way too. Sean Kelly.
In the front of the
in the paper for that one.
In the front of the old Maris fans, or packing the stands there. He's an ex-Maris boy, so would have been a bit disappointed with that one, but.
And it's a long kick there from McMahon, only as far as that of. Well, there was a clever tap there from Robinson. Robinson out there towards Andretta. Andretta gets an opportunity to drive the ball inside the forward 50 out towards Ryan. It was a good contest there by McLeod. McLeod gets it in only as far as the umpire, who says, "I'll have it, thank you, gentlemen. I'll throw it up." 45 metres out from the Eastlake Tuggeranong goal. It's Wiles who was met solidly in that tackle. He releases the ball, a la rugby union style, like a scrum there, and it's a quick kick out, only as far as Big Hartman, the goal scorer earlier in this quarter. He's got a decision to make, put it down in the square, make the Eastlake backman think about it, and there it goes. It's out towards, that was a good contest there, out towards Clark. He's been clever, he's been ingenious. Jacob Clark, oh, take a bow, son. That was a great kick from, he's looked lively all day, young Jacob Clark. He's one I mentioned earlier. He has really come on in leaps and bounds throughout the season because he's just getting game time and he's getting games under his belt. So if Tuggeranong can add to their list throughout season 2013-2014, hats off to Coach McGrath. He's done a wonderful job here today. Let's hope they can carry it out. Much to your dismay, Daniel, but it's 7-2-44, 3-10-34. Star Track Oval, Manuka, round 14, North Eastern Football League. So the rain is just starting to come down as the lights come on, and the chill factor goes down another minus, I think, Daniel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's not worrying us.
No, up here the heat is going pretty well up here. So I was just about to say, just before that goal was kicked, that the next 5 minutes is going to be pretty crucial for both sides, and Tuggeranong seemed like just thought they toiled pretty hard and they needed some reward, and they got it. So no, they just need to really hang on here.
And this is where they do struggle a little bit, the Tuggeranong side, when the ball gets put in high and the ball hits the deck. It's their decision making under the high ball. So if Eastlake can just revert to that long kicking game that was successful against Queanbeyan in the wet, I think they'll put Tuggeranong under the hammer. But full credit to McGrath, a lot of the key playmakers have had 0 to 0 influence, and that's Stoyanov, that's Brabazon. They've had minimal impact, and there's a quick kick out of bounds on the full. They're leaving it to too few. Van Mules has probably been shaded by McLeod. Really struggling to find winners for the Eastlake Demons as they go to ground again. This is the real interesting challenge here, the way that they work out of this one here, as it's tapped to a 2-on-1 in towards Maiden. Maiden slips with the footy. It's obviously quite greasy out there as the rain continues to fall. It's out there towards Perry. Perry out towards Brabazon. Here's a kick out towards Simons, it is, and he gets a quick kick over towards the goal scorer in Clark. Clark, you really needed to get that on the boot, out towards McLeod. They're going to over-possess the footy. It's out to Robinson, out towards McLeod. That's play on. That's not 10 metres. That wasn't 15 metres, and that's a free kick against Aaron Bruce. This will bring McLeod in goal-scoring range. Absolutely. It's going to bring him 40 metres out, and this will be a instrumental goal if he kicks this one, Daniel.
Yeah, that's just one of those ones where I guess, again, I'm probably being a little bit biased, but
poor umpiring, Daniel.
The umpire just, he obviously thought that Bruce thought it was not 15. The Tuggeranong player played on straight away, and the umpire, all he needs to do there is just call it back and get on with the game. But anyway, probably justice is served there. So when McLeod missed to the near side, so.
Absolutely, I think you're right there. It's one of those free kicks that's just not there. And that's in the context of the game, it can be proven crucial. So anyway, not to worry, we're not the men in green. It looks a lot easier up here than what it actually is. So full credit to the umpires. They do a sterling job week in, week out. They don't get it right, they are human. But here's another opportunity to Clark. He puts it to the back of Lovett. That was too much vigour in the handball, only as far as the tackling pressure's still quite good out there. They've got to be careful there. Didn't lead with the head there. Big Hartman, as he tries to get a quick toe to the boot, only towards Lovett. He handballs it over quickly to O'Connell. O'Connell towards, they're all slipping over at 6 and 7s. It's over to Robinson. Robinson now towards Clark. Clark needs to take that mark and be safe. Sammy Smith will hold him up and put a bit of pressure on him here. So Clark really needs to make the right decision. He can't go across goal in that situation with a wet ball. He needs to go up the line, and it's out towards that of Cleaver. And he did well in front of Bruce there, so he brought it down towards that of a free kick in there to Pocock for a push in the back. So that was clever play there by Ben Cleaver. The number 18, he's toiling away nicely out there.
Yeah, it's just a poor free kick there by McMahon. He didn't need to shove him in the back.
Absolutely.
Probably a greasy ball, overhead mark. You'd, sort of just put a bit of heat on with the body and hope that he might slip through his hands, but just a poor free kick.
Benny Simons goes long down the line towards Big Hartman. Here's another opportunity to Kelly. He gets the ball shuffled forward out towards that of Richards. He's been busy out towards Van Millers with a fantastic grab and punch. He gets those big arms in there in front of McLeod. He made the front position. McLeod, you're up against the premier defender, McLeod. He's a good defender for a reason. So, but it's still in Tuggeranong's scoring zone. They just got to keep working the ball forward and present scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I think McGrath would be pretty happy. I'm sure he'd be happy if they can get stoppages inside their forward 50 and toil away and put plenty of pressure on the Demons. But they're setting up pretty well here. You see the footy will come straight back in. So Eastlake going to have to push up and put a bit more pressure on those guys, I think.
It's Bernasconi now, Matt Bernasconi out there towards that of McLeod. He's given away the free kick because he got caught behind. So Bernasconi in towards McLeod. They're just becoming a little bit one-dimensional looking. He's going to open up here for Wiles. Wiles needs to make the correct decision here. It's over towards Maiden, but that's a great tackle to Brad Hunt, the solidly built Brad Hunt. He gets an opportunity and he plays on it, butchers it. That'll be a reversed free kick here. So it's out towards that of Moody. Moody gets the kick down towards that of Ralston and Brabazon. Ralston takes on the defender out towards Brabazon. He gets it over towards Hayden Armstrong. They're going to get reward for effort here. That's well done to Hayden Armstrong. He gets a goal. Well done, Hayden Armstrong. Eastlake get their third of the quarter. And they battled hard. You could just see it opening up there as Brad Hunt tried to take the game on and was unsuccessful.
Yeah, as Danny Frawley would say, it's an absolute coach killer there with Hunt taken off. You just like to see the ball go back to the bloke who won the free kick there, I think, and especially Tuggeranong, they don't want to, it seems as though they want to slow the game down a bit and get numbers around the contest, so you probably just need to get it forward there a bit quicker, but I guess you got to take that risk every now and then, but I don't think McGrath would be too happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't win them all the time, but anyway, that's 5 points the difference, or actually 6 points the difference. It is Tuggeranong 7-4-46 to Eastlake 5-10-40. Here's another one, another opportunity for back-to-back goals from Brabazon. He gets a free kick. Mark, whatever you like, he won't miss this one. Don't worry about that. Ryan Brabazon.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones you've seen at AFL level earlier in the year where he shoves him out, but I think the umpires become a little bit more lenient on it if it's in the side and it's well timed, not too early. So it's one of those ones that could have went either way, but the umpires decided to pay it. So
Ryan Brabazon proving valuable down there in the forward 50, just showing his class. So that's the fourth for the Demons for the quarter, as they now level peg it with the Tuggeranong Hawks. 46 apiece here, round 14. Northeastern Football League clash. McLeod goes to the middle of the ground to try and get some ascendancy for the Hawks. They need the next one if they're going to mount a serious challenge in the last quarter. I think that's the scoring end here at Manuka, Daniel, that pool end. So Tuggeranong probably done well to kick 2 goals against it.
Yeah, that's right, and it'd just be interesting to see what McGrath does here. I think he's one of those coaches who wants to keep it pretty competitive. He might try and get his big guns in the middle and try and just get numbers around the footy, slow it down a bit, let the Demons get momentum. So we'll see how the Demons react to that. So
it was Big Hun that played for the free kick there. He didn't fool anyone. He certainly didn't fool the umpire. The only bloke that he fooled was himself. There's a free kick, a push off the footy there, and it goes to McLeod. He was successful enough, and they got sucked in there, the Eastlake Demons, to McLeod. So no, it's not. You're not allowed to do that, Matty. I mean, you're looking for a cheap kick, son, but it's got to go back to the man in McLeod. As Ralston is in there throwing his weight around, so it goes back to the middle of the ground. It's out to McLeod. He needs to show some leadership out there and just slow the play down. It's out towards Liam Greenwood. What's the umpire done here? He's called it back again for not kicking over the mark. Got everyone confused out there. I think he's got himself confused out there.
I think he just wants him to go around the mark. It's just, I know as a player it's very frustrating, but anyway, got to do the right thing.
Absolutely. He's got to just bomb it long here and look for an opportunity, I reckon.
Pocock might be dangerous here. He's got a mismatch there on Sam Smith, so it doesn't go to him.
Goes towards Wiles, who takes a saving mark in the back 50. Unlucky not to get a 50-metre penalty as the Tuggeranong defender slid into his back. I think it was McGrath out there. No, it wasn't. It was the number 6. There's no number 6 out there. It was McGrath. I think it was 5. I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, Eastlake get an opportunity to go further forward as the rain continues to simmer down here at Manuka Oval. It's 46 apiece, 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark of the third quarter. A big last quarter coming up for both clubs. So anyway, let's see if Tuggeranong can restrict Eastlake in the red zone. But anyway, we've got another free kick out of bounds on the full. It's a heavy footy out there. It's a little bit soft underfoot, Daniel, and the players need to be aware of keeping their feet in these conditions.
Yeah, just need to corral the man a little bit, not let him step around you both sides. I think just going in a bit too overzealous and getting stepped around and losing their feet. So I think the stoppages are going to be really, really key here in the last sort of stanza of the game. So if whichever team can get on top and make use of the stoppages, I think Tuggeranong probably have been pretty good on them so far. I'm not sure of the stats, but I'd say it'd be pretty close to even. So, especially when the ball gets a bit greasy and it turns into a bit more of a contest. So, it's probably where it'd be won and lost, I think.
Absolutely. I think it's 25-minute going by the old clock here at Manuka Oval. It is 46 apiece as the umpire throws it in as Tuggeranong inched towards their goals. It's out to Big Shannon and it's tried to be sharked away there by Moody, and it's an arm wrestle there between the number 11, Toby Richards. He's been a solid contributor for the Tuggeranong Hawks. The umpire comes in and says, I'll have it. It's a byproduct of this close encounter football. In wet weather football, it was Shannon who got his hands to the ball at the back there. It was Bruce who ducked his head and burrowed through only as far as Sammy Smith. Sam Smith gets the ball on the boot and he gets it down there towards, and it was chopped off there by Matt Bernasconi. Bernasconi brings the ball back in through Liam Greenwell. Greenwell gets an opportunity to slow the play down. He's got to look for players presenting themselves. Greenwell needs to make the right decision here, and that he does, but he goes out there towards that of, was a mark, free kick, whatever you like. It's out there towards, rolls out towards Peter Clark. Peter Clark was wrong-footed there by Moody, out towards O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer gets a quick kick on the boot now. It's in front of Ralston. A big fly there from Armstrong. It did no one any favours. It certainly didn't do him one. He was gone to ground very heavily, did Hayden Armstrong. It's Tuggeranong now with the footy as they get an opportunity now to play on. It's out through Robinson. Robinson in the middle of the ground. He gets it down towards Big Matty Sam. Sorry, his name's Sam Hartman, and there was a strong collision there. And it was also Luke Andretta who made strong contest there with Gumley, and was also Lang. Is it on the bottom of that pack? No. Who's he called holding the ball against? He's called it against Luke Andretta for dragging it in. But his young Mike Ryan, who was the victor on that occasion. Ryan gets an opportunity to go into the middle of the ground towards O'Connell. O'Connell, let's see how he's under pressure here. Dan O'Connell goes back and just glides on the footy in front of Liam Greenwell, over towards Armstrong, who was up in the clouds a minute ago, over towards Maiden. Maiden butchers an open goal, if you don't mind. Benny Maiden. That could come back to haunt the Eastlake Demons, Daniel.
Yeah, Nato normally eats those up, those ones. He's running onto his preferred side, and I'd say Berkey will be absolutely pulling his hair out over that. But
that's a
couple of big efforts there from Armstrong before hitting the pack, and Wiles, who's not one to pull out of a contest going back with the flight. Might just be the lift that the Demons need here. So.
And Moody in the middle of the ground, out towards that of Brabazon, but he was led to the footy by Richards. Richards did well in that occasion there, and it's out there towards the run there of the 19 for Ash Pocock. He tried to take it on there, but it was out to Brabazon. He's created something down in the forward 50 there, Ryan Brabazon. If he hasn't kicked him, he's set him up. Ryan Brabazon is a star, don't worry about that, as he works his way back into full fitness after a lengthy layoff with an MCL. Is that correct, Daniel?
Yeah, that's correct, Davo. You've done well. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those injuries that it's not overly common, but I guess a good thing about it in a way is that if there's not too much damage in there, it's a pretty quick recovery in terms of knee injuries. So, it's good to see Brabber back out there.
Back to the play. It's back to O'Dwyer. That was a good, solid attempt from all players there involved, but it's a free kick here to the Eastlake Demons for a sloppy tackle. Who's going to come up victor? I think it's going to be Sam Mardling who's going to come up with the footy here.
His chance for his first one today, so he's been relatively well held again today, so might just be the one he needs. Works pretty hard defensively, so he's burrowed in there and got a free kick for a high tackle, so if he can just break the shackles here, he might be the one that might be able to break the game open for the Demons.
It's a 1-point ball game. A chance to make it 7. It is Mardling. I think he likes it off the boot. No, he doesn't. His body language said it all. It's only a 2-point ball game. Can't be long left in this third quarter. It'll be interesting to see what the respective coaches have to say to their troops at three-quarter time. It's long down the line from Robinson. Robinson looking for Channon, but that's a good grab there from the Tuggeranong player. And now he finds out to Benny Cleaver. Out to Cleaver. Cleaver goes backwards out there towards the run there of Jake White. White, who got it in towards Hartman, the goal scorer. Can they steal a late one, the Tuggeranong Hawks? There's a big one there. It's out towards Pocock. He created a contest, hacked out of the air by O'Dwyer. Stoyanov meets it out towards McLeod. McLeod is slung as he kicked it towards the goals, and it goes for a boundary line throw in. 15 metres away from the Tuggeranong goal. Can they make use of this stoppage?
Yeah, they just seem like there's plenty of numbers around the ball here. I'd say McGrath would be trying to clear a few of them out. So obviously, if you've got a bit of space here at a stoppage in your forward line, you get a bit more space to run. But it seems as though they've cleared it out pretty well. So if they can get one to run through the stoppage and get loose, there might be a chance.
And it's Big Hartman gets first hands to the footy, but it was taken away by Nick Perry, only to as far as the two, the solidly built Hun and the solidly built Stoyanov. But that's a good tackle inside the forward 50 there by the Tuggeranong forwards. They tackled Sam Smith, didn't give him any room to move. So is another ball up. Can Big Hartman get the decisive tap here as they throw it up? It's Mesman to do battle with Hartman. He won it out first hand. It went out there towards, I think it was Mike Ryan again, but that's a good mark there by Lovett. Lovett. He gets an opportunity to drive the ball forward for the Tuggeranong Hawks. Can't be long left on the clock as Lovett sends it back down the throat towards Big Hartman. Hartman gets an opportunity and he's taken the grab. He gets an opportunity for his second of the quarter. He's proved quite a valuable asset up there as Big Sammy Hartman, the number 41. Out towards Ash Pocock. Pocock gets an opportunity to put it towards the advantage there of McLeod as it goes to ground, and that's a rush behind to the Tuggeranong Hawks.
Yeah, he's given them something there, Hartman. He's I don't know, I haven't seen too much of him the last couple of years, but he's a big lump of a lad, and he seems like he's got some pretty sticky fingers. He gets the Dukes up there, and he pulls them pulling a few down. So good to see for the young fella.
That should be a free kick there to the Tuggeranong player, but it wasn't, and it's been released there from Eastlake. It's out towards Stoyanov. Stoyanov with a quick kick out. It's only as far as the number 6 for the Tuggeranong Hawks, and it gets now taken away for Tuggeranong.
It's a bit of a stalemate here, and then the siren goes. So I think the Hawks will be pretty happy with the position they're in, and the Demons have fought back to get up by 1 point, but I think they might have wanted a bit more reward for their effort in their inside 50s, but it's going to set up for a pretty interesting last quarter. So
it certainly is. There's 1 point in it, 7-5-47 to 6-12-48. Welcome back to this round 14 clash in an entertaining contest in the second of the doubleheader. It is the Eastlake Demons leading the Tuggeranong Hawks by a solitary point as we start the last quarter here at under bright lights here at Star Track Oval in Manuka. Are the Hawks going to be good enough? They've been gallant all day for the first 3 quarters. The Eastlake Demons, well, have they got enough class to get over the line? Yeah, time will tell in about 25 minutes as we go into the middle of the ground. It's out towards McLeod. He's been a star all day for the Hawks. He's nearly led them on his own back. It's out towards Greenwell, who's been solid as well. They have executed Coach McGrath's game plan to a T, the Tuggeranong Hawks. So they go in the middle of the ground towards Robinson. That was risky if he'd have dropped it because it turned over. And guess who was waiting or sweating on it? It was Ralston as it goes back out there towards McLeod. McLeod it's back into McLeod's hands now, but someone who's heavily banged, I think it's Cleaver that's out there. It's out there towards Channon. Front and square was the Tuggeranong player, but that's a quick handball over the back there as they go further ahead out towards Hartman. Out there towards, I think it was Richards. He's been a good player all day, but it's going to repeat everyone and over the boundary. Well, that's not a bad result for the Tuggeranong Hawks. It is 1 point in it. 7-5-47 the Hawks to 6-12-48. The Eastlake Demons, in what's been a double header here, played under lights. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in the nation's capital, but it's quickly booted out there, and it's a good grab there by Joey Hancock. Of course, he set up a goal there in towards that of Brophy Williams, only as far as McLeod. He drops what he should have taken. He was good enough to recover. He gets it on the boot quickly, but only as far as the behind post. That's the Hawks first for the minor for the last quarter, so it's even Stevens here at Star Trek Oval in Manuka, and it's a quick transition. It's out towards O'Dwyer. They'll get a goal out of this Eastlake. He gets a quick handball over there towards Lang. Lang with the decision to make here in towards Stoyanov. Stoyanov out towards, he leaves it for the leading forward in Ralston. Ralston gets to drive the ball forward now and towards Brabazon. Brabazon keeps the ball in front out towards Greenwell and Mardling. They all slipped over. It's out towards Lang. Lang gets an opportunity to bring it inside the forward 50, but it was out and towards the arms of Armstrong, who just played in front. Hayden Armstrong. He can make the difference, 6 points. He's been quite good all day, Hayden Armstrong. He's found a rich vein of form. It is Hayden Armstrong for the Eastlake Demons, lining up for what is their 7th goal. I think he'll be good enough to get this one, will be Armstrong. Absolutely. Make no mistake about that. That's their first. Tuggeranong will be bitterly disappointed with that. I think we'll see the Demons maybe might run away with it in this last quarter. Or are Tuggeranong going to be good enough to stick with them and continue up their gallant fight? It's a battle of minds out there at the moment. 5 minutes gone in this first quarter. 54 to 48. Eastlake v Tuggeranong. Round 14 clash. As the umpire brings it back to the middle of the ground. First blood to the Eastlake Demons, and it goes towards Channon, out towards Hun. And the lurker's back from the 3/4 time huddle, and that was well done to Mike Ryan. The bandaged Ryan, he now takes on the footy and runs with the footy, and he goes along towards that of Maiden, out towards Jacob Clark, and that of Robinson. Robinson brought Gumley to the ground in a solid tackle. So the umpire will have no hesitation here in awarding a free kick to Robinson. I don't know how he was supposed to get rid of it. He must have had to have 4 arms and 4 legs. But anyway, it's over to Robinson now. What's he going to do with the footy? He brings it in there towards McGrath. McGrath in front of Smith. That's a free kick. That's 50 metres because he encroached the mark. He didn't clear the mark away, but it's going to be good enough to get out of it with Stoyanov. That's a poor decision there by the umpire. Liam Greenwell, he did enough to put the body on to stop the run of Mardling. What did you make of it at 3/4 time, Daniel?
Yeah, he's pretty happy with the contested footy, so they're in cracking in, winning the ball. Just need to clean up their skills just with the handballs. A lot of handballs just hitting the ground, hitting the feet, and obviously address the conditions. It's going to be pretty greasy. If you get an opportunity to get the ball forward, bash it forward and get momentum going there. So,
as the umpire says, I'll have it, thank you, gentlemen. He elects to throw it up. Probably 75 metres from the Eastlake goal. Of course, Armstrong started the quarter in fine fashion for the Eastlake Demons and getting there first. It's Brophy Williams and it's Bruce up, third man up, out towards that of Stoyanov. That's what they needed to do, get it into his hands. Out there towards that of Armstrong, out towards Greenwell. He slipped over at the crucial moment. Out towards Mardling, out to Lang. Lang off the boot. That's a good goal, Matty Lang. Well done. Matthew Lang, he kicks a goal there to take Eastlake 2 goals in front. I think the work's now in front of Tuggeranong. They've been gallant all day, Daniel.
Yeah, good finish there by Lang. He's left footer, and that's it. What he's got to do. That's his game. He's not going to get many opportunities to have shots on goal. He might only have 1 or 2 shots on goal. If he can chime in and get on the scoreboard, that's what his role is for the side. And I think just getting that quick kick forward by Stoyanov there, and that third man up, I think it's going to be an interesting play. The Demons here expect them to do it quite a bit, I think, especially with the dominance with an undersized ruckman in there. So it's really highlighted the importance of big Chad Gibson when we've got him in there. So we'll see how that goes around the stoppages for now.
As the umpire brings it back to the middle of the ground, it's now a 2-goal game. Now will Tuggeranong respond? It's back to Brophy Williams, but the umpire says, I'll have it, thank you. It's a poor bounce, he'll throw it up again. You've got the big guns in the middle, Hun, McLeod, Channon, Cleaver. Big Channon gets up, first use of the footy. It was only as far as that of O'Connell. O'Connell, and pushed forward was Stoyanov. Stoyanov was brought to the ground in a solid tackle.
Similar tackle.
His tackling pressure from the Tuggeranong Hawks has been tremendous out there today. They certainly won't lose any admirers throughout the competition, Dan. They've been tremendous in their execution today.
Yeah, that's what you want from them. You want them to be competitive, and I think you look at, I guess, Melbourne in the AFL and teams like that at the moment. That they've copped a bit of heat because they're just not competitive. But with Tuggeranong, yeah, they've been on the end of a few hidings, but you wouldn't say that they're an easy side to play against, that's for sure. So, and they've showed that today. And they're definitely still in the contest. They've showed that they can kick goals in succession, so I wouldn't rule them out just yet. So
it was off the boot there of Dwyer. It went out of bounds on the full. It almost went over to the Eastlake club there in Oxley Street as the players have to retrieve the footy way in the back of the orange grandstands here at Star Trek Oval in Monica. And of course, there was a boil over in the AFL today. The Sydney Swans getting beaten by Port Adelaide. So that's a big turnout for the books. The Swans
down in Adelaide?
In at home ground for Port Adelaide. Yeah. Of course, the Swans in the NEAFL competition yet to be chased defeat through season 2013. They set the pace in the NEAFL competition, but we all remember what happened last year when they got knocked off in the big one. But anyway, back to the play here at Star Trek Oval. It comes across here over to Bernasconi. He needs to be spot on with that one, and he was. He didn't let his teammate down. He needs to go long down towards Andretta. This will beat all players over the boundary line. No, it's Andretta. He gets the bounce. He works around that of Hancock. He goes long down the line. That's a good grab there by Mardling as he just leant back on Greenwell a little bit there. And Sam Mardling, opportunity in towards Moody. The long sleeves of Moody, the number one, 50 metre for Channon. It's again one of those ticky-touch with free kicks. It's a crucial free kick in the context of the game.
Short 50.
It's out towards Moody, in towards Bruce. Bruce leads McLeod to the footy. The heat, you can feel it's gone out of the game. That's a shank off the boot there from Aaron Bruce. Is it going to be good enough though to put some doubt into the defenders' minds? No. Tuggeranong, they've been good in the back six. It's out towards Jacob Clark. He's got to make the right decision by hand. That he does over to Robinson. He follows it up with a good handball and a good kick out there to Kelly. The number 10 for the Hawks. He slows the play right down now. They've got to get back-to-back goals, Hawks. All the hard work and running that they've created will amount to nothing if they can't score goals. And it goes across the ground to Clark. Clark needs to run, take on Armstrong. That he does. He's got no alternatives, but in the middle of the ground he finds that of White, Jake White. He goes across the ground out to Kelly. Kelly comes further across under the light tower towards the left footer of Lovett. Lovett hoists it high in towards Hartman. He's a good front and centre there by the number 27 in Peter Clark, but it only found the boundary line.
Like Tuggeranong's movement there, they get the ball in the middle of the ground and then swing it out the open side and get it out in the open space is probably suiting them, but they just lack that polish going back into their forward line. They often kick to a contest and the Demons just roll back with that slow play and get numbers back. So I'd just like to see them go a bit quicker and try and get that ball into a one-on-one.
Absolutely, they do need to get some one-on-one. They've probably got to take some risks to take the game on, change their game plan up a little bit again. Here's Armstrong. He's been quite good for the Eastlake Demons, and he's just allowed the ball to go forward. It was O'Connell who tried to pick the ball up. He goes backwards. He was successful enough there in towards Ralston. Ralston gets an opportunity to play on now right outside the paint. He finds Jake Gumley, who's streamed forward. Jake Gumley, 45 metres out from goal. He's quite a good kick of the footy, Jake Gumley. I think you'll have no problems in going back and having a crack at this one, Dan.
Yeah, he's. I'd back him from here. He's a nice long kick. He's gets plenty of the footy off half back. I think we had to look at the stats. He's probably one of the blokes that turns the footy over the most, but he's got that high risk, high reward sort of role for the club. He's trying to pinpoint the ball through the middle of the ground and things like that. So he's been really important for us down back this year.
There you have it, Jake Gumley. He missed that one, but it was a long kick nonetheless. As Tuggeranong bring the ball in, as they chip it around the boundary line. You need to come up with something. 12 minutes gone in this last quarter here of the round 14 double header, Monica Oval. Of course, in the earlier game, we saw the Tricolours sneak back into the top 5 with an impressive win against the second place Belconnen Magpies. Who's going to be the victor here? Will it be the Eastlake Demons or the Hawks, the Tuggeranong Hawks? They've battled gallantly all day, the Tuggeranong Hawks, but Eastlake full of running in this last quarter out towards Brabazon. Ralston created the contest off the ground. Dean Ralston, it's going to dribble through for nothing because it beats them all and goes over the boundary line. Boundary line throw in, 20 metres from the Eastlake goal. Stoppage work is where Tuggeranong have actually improved. They've been quite good at the stoppages today, Dan.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty disciplined if McGrath's anything to go off. He's I'd say be pretty disciplined with that and making sure that they understand their stoppages. And the footy spends a lot of time their game plan. They want to slow it down and keep it in nice and close. So you've got to be good in there to compete. So they're doing a pretty good job.
That's a good grab there.
There's McGrath the footy now.
Is it Pete McGrath wearing the 6?
Not sure.
There's no 6 in the program. And it is number 6 out there, I'm positive. Well, my eyes are failing me, but it's out to Xavier McMahon as they get an opportunity here. This will put him under some pressure, Xavier McMahon. It goes in towards Armstrong and lead and present it up nicely for him. Armstrong goes back across to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer, a good user by foot, out towards Smith. Smith. Perry, no, out to Van Meers. Was Perry to Van Meers. Out to Gumley again. Gumley with a low trajectory towards Lovett, who dived into the mark but dropped what he should have taken. Out there towards, I think that's Clark out there. Out towards Clark, McLeod and Van Meers. It's beaten there by Ryan. He's been quite solid in his debut today. I quite liked his work across half back. He certainly hasn't looked out of place. He might hold his place for next week. There might be another find there for the Eastlake Demons in Mike Ryan. Yeah,
he's a fantastic young player. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, bang it long from wherever on the ground. And yeah, last week he kicked one from about 60 out. I think stood in the coaches' minds, and he's got a game this week. So I think we've had 4 rising stars nominated so far this year, and he might be the next in line, hopefully. So it's a good sign for the club.
There you go. Of course, Benny House, fresh off the rising star last week. And here's a free kick to, I think it's Sam Smith down on the ground there. He put his head over the footy. He had no hesitation, did young Sammy Smith. Of course, Benny House, fresh off the rising star. The other rising stars this year...
we've had Matty Lang, Dan O'Connell, and the other one escapes me at the moment. I'll have to...
Not Hancock.
Ryan McLaughlin, yeah, young Ryan McLaughlin, who unfortunately had to have an operation early in the year, so he's missed the last 6 weeks of footy. So it'd be nice if we can get him back. But yeah, it's just one of those things. He's had just a sudden operation, and he's got that done, and hopefully we'll have him back shortly.
As we ride that home with Sam Smith, and he just poked at the footy. He missed what he probably should have kicked there. That's an area of his game that he really needs to improve on, young Sam Smith. And it's Tuggeranong. They've just got to take the game on now, and it's out there. They've battled valiantly all day. It's Toby Richards. He tried very hard there, but it's just in the arms of Lang. Lang with a quick handball out to Bruce, out to Lee McMahon. Make no mistake about that one. Lee McMahon, the veteran Lee McMahon, he seals the game for the Eastlake Demons. 3 goals now is the margin.
Yeah, he'll enjoy that, the old man. He's full of confidence, and he'd be happy this week after Miami Heat got up in the NBA. He's a mad basketball fan. He's just off to the States next year, so over there with his lovely wife. So she's lives over in America, so he'll shoot over there and enjoy his American sport. So he'll enjoy that one in his last year of footy, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Lee McMahon, of course, joining his American-born wife over there, and they probably tune in to a lot of the telecasts through the internet. Of course, all the action through NEAFL.com.au. You can keep up to date through your smartphone, through your old phone, through any phone. It is the Demons here, 69-9, 15-69 to 7-6-48. A 20-point margin, 4 goals they need to kick the Tuggeranong Hawks. I don't think it's going to be possible. Can they pinch one back? Out towards Kelly. He's been good all day for the Hawks. He's tried in vain. They go forward. What have they called here?
He's called out of bounds. I think it's.
He has called out of bounds.
I think the umpire might have.
The umpire was 50 metres away and has called him for out of bounds.
I don't think the central umpire called him to play on there, so it's a bit of a hairy one there. But nonetheless, they got a stoppage 60 metres out from goal. So see the Hawks again. They just get the ball to half forward there, and they just lack that last bit of polish going inside 50. So
yes, their confidence in kicking to a key target down there. Anyway, it's out to love it. You're dead right, Daniel. If they throw a couple of key forwards into this side and they'll look a little bit different, it'll certainly make a couple of the other blokes grow a few legs.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Some blokes that can use the footy off the half-back line.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been good for them all day today. They've had some real tries. I thought Lovett's been good for them.
Robinson's been pretty solid on Ralston coming off.
Clark's been good for them. Bernasconi's done a solid job down there.
Yeah, it's good to see Cleaver. I think he probably hasn't rose to the lights that he has in the past seasons, but he looks like he's still got that class there, and he'll play more footy and he'll be good in the back end of the year. So, absolute superstar of the Tuggeranong Footy Club, Ben Cleaver. So,
and it's out with Sammy Smith. Out towards that of Armstrong. He made a good contest out of it. He kept his feet. The Tuggeranong player went to ground. He's certainly improved his body and marking contests as Hayden Armstrong, and his forward defensive pressure acts inside the forward 50 have gone a long way to Eastlake's 5-game winning streak. So it's out there towards Robinson again. He's done a great job on Ralston, of course. Ralston coming off a 9-goal haul, and they've mopped everything up their way today.
Yeah, he'd be high in the rebound 50s, I think, not just for this game but for the competition. So I think they'd like to use him in a range of positions, but he's just too solid down there for him in defence. So only still relatively young, 22 I think he is. So they've got plenty of footy ahead of him, I think, Chris Robinson.
Here's a turnover in the middle of the ground, and McGrath gets a quick handball out there towards Hun. Hun with another handball out towards that of the run there of Peter Clark, but it was only as far as, I think it's Mesman out there with the ball in hand, is it? Yes, it is. It's Mesman. He comes in towards Lee McMahon as the heat's really gone out at the 20-minute mark here. Round 14, out towards O'Dwyer. He got up high, but to no luck. I thought he put the hand on the shoulder, Matty O'Dwyer. He was lucky to get away with that. But anyway, he gave a good look at the light tower at the top there, Matty O'Dwyer. Umpire throws it in. It's getting hard to see from the commentary box, let me tell you that. As the players go at it, it's as far as the Tuggeranong midfielder and as far as Jacob Clark. So it's 50 metres here. Holding up the play, he's played it against Xavier McMahon.
He's trying to plead his case there, saying that he
I've never seen an umpire change his decision yet.
Nah, and Xavier's probably, unfortunately, probably one of the most penalised players in the competition. He's a competitive beast, and at times it sort of lets him down, but yeah, it's just one of those ones he probably just needs to stand the mark and go back and defend. So coaching staff will be disappointed about that.
And I think it's Hun lining up for a shot at goal against Xavier McMahon. No, it's Pocock, I think. Pocock with an opportunity to kick a goal for the Hawks, and that he does. I think it was Ash Pocock, the 19 for Tuggeranong Hawks. That's their first. They register their first one at the 20-minute mark of the last quarter. Heat really gone out of the game. They need to get in a quick succession of them. Can they do a Miami Heat on the San Antonio Spurs?
Come from nowhere. You've seen stranger things happen in footy, so
absolutely. And
I think they still have a bit of time left on the clock.
Eastlake have been involved in a few of those. If you cast your mind back to the finals last year, Mitchell Frail, who took that hanger in the square. And of course, another one of the Eastlake stars missing through injury. Looks like his season's shot. There's Channon with a big hit forward out towards that of Kelly, out towards that of McGrath. It is McGrath out there. I think he's wearing the 6 jumper, Peter McGrath. He is. He must have got taken off in the blood rule, and the 6 was the spare jumper. So apologies to Peter McGrath. Wasn't sure who was wearing the 6. It is Peter McGrath. And it's out to Moody. Moody has a bounce now. No, it's actually Bruce. Bruce with a quick kick into the solidly built Stoyanov. Stoyanov over to the speedster in Hancock. Hancock puts it out there to the run of Mardling. Mardling gets it over there. He takes on 3-4 defenders. He gets it in towards Stoyanov. Stoyanov. He won't miss this. 25, 30 metres out from goal. This is his bread and butter, Daniel.
Yeah, the housemates joining up in there, so you'll have to. Story will be thanking Mards for that one later, but yeah, just the Demons just got on top. They've moved Bruce into the middle, who's got plenty of the footy in there. So just a little bit of class has just shone out here, even with the conditions becoming more difficult. They just won the footy a bit more and just ran over the Hawks. So if you can slot this, you'd nearly think you'd ice the game from here. So
right at home with Rick Stoyanov. Quite compared to last week. I think he's missed that one, Ricky Stoyanov. Yes, he has. He's pushed that one far left. It's a minor score. It's been a long day at the office here for the broadcast team. Really appreciate your comments and your time today, Daniel. Wonderful insight into both the AFL recruiting system, also the insight into the players' idiosyncrasies. But it's out to McLeod. He sort of died out of the game a little bit, but he hasn't stopped trying. I'll give him that. It's out towards Dwyer down there in the back 50 with Big Hartman. It's out to Van Meers. Van Meers solid as ever, out towards that of Moody. Moody now ball in hand. 25-minute mark of the last quarter. He goes across there to McMahon. McMahon leans back on the footy out to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer, Smith. Smith gets an opportunity to run now up through the middle of the ground. He gets a quick handball out there towards Hancock. Hancock can take him on with that run and carry of his. It's out towards McMahon. McMahon back out to Smith, the run of Sam Smith. Sam Smith puts it down there into the leading path of the player in Gumley, I think it was, but it beat Maiden or Gumley, one of the two. It's a bit hard to see over there without the glasses on, Dan.
Yeah, I think it was Maiden there, so pretty good movement by the Demons. Just get the ball down. They'd be pretty happy to get a stoppage in at the top of their forward 50 here. So they'll just try and close it down here and ice the game from here, I'd say.
16-point margin. Eastlake Demons are going to continue their roll. 5 undefeated, 5 on the trot. They claim bragging rights this time round against the Tuggeranong Hawks after the Hawks got them in a shock victory in the second round of the North Eastern Football League Conference in the round 2. It's out to McMahon. Is he going to get another one? Yes, he is. Lee McMahon, he'll enjoy that. You'll hear about that for the next couple of weeks on the training track. No doubt about that. Lee McMahon, he gets his second in a minute. It's back-to-back goals for Lee McMahon.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be
just the class really just coming to the top now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think he'll be making sure he gets over to Pete McGrath there and let him know about that when they're the best of mates, played a lot of footy together, and yeah, he'll be letting him know about that. That's for sure.
Well, there you have it. The former teammates now won the opposition coach. They've battled manfully all day, the Tuggeranong Hawks. Full credit to them. Just lacked a little bit of polish, but you know, they can walk off the ground holding their heads high. It is the Eastlake Demons. 10-15-75 to 8-6-54. In the middle of the ground, 25 minutes gone in this last quarter in what is going to be a chilly encounter in the Rising Stars, which I believe you're involved in that one too, Daniel.
Yeah, no, got me finger in every pie at the moment, but yeah, just I've been at the club now for close to 5 years, and I thought I'd get involved and help out with the under-18s. It's something I've really enjoyed, and Rowan Schlesinger, who's had the reins of the under-18s, I think now for 3 years, has done a fantastic job. I think 4 years ago we folded as under-18s. We didn't have enough numbers, and there's quite a few issues there, and we always have a challenge with guys, you know, going up to school at Marist and things like that. But to the club's credit, and Rowan, who puts in a power of work, he's brought a really good program together and played in the grand final last year, and we're right in the mix again this year. So something I really enjoy, and hopefully it's something that I might be able to add to my coaching career later down the track. So
as Ash Pocock kicked the goal there for the Tuggeranong Hawks to bring them a little bit closer, they will hold their heads high after this narrow loss here at Manuka Oval in the second of the double header. It's been a successful day here for the NEAFL. Of course, Ainsley, victors in the early game against the Belconnen Magpies. The second place Belconnen Magpies were comprehensively beaten by the Eastlake Tricolours, who looked ominous today. And here we've got the Demons, the Eastlake Demons, going to run away with it against the Hawks. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to bring the ladder a bit closer together. So with Queanbeyan to play Sydney Uni tomorrow, so Sydney Uni definitely no easy beats. They're probably one of the most improved sides in the competition, I think. So I know they've had a big win up in Sydney a few weeks ago, and yeah, so if they can knock off Queanbeyan for us, that'd be nice, and we might sneak up equal wins with Belconnen and Queanbeyan, so keep this competition nice and close. So
there you go, and that's what you want. Of course, Ryan Quaid paying his 200th tomorrow out there at Dairy Farmers Park. That's a wonderful achievement for Ryan Quaid. Wish you all the best and hope you can get the points, bring home the bacon for the Tigers against the uni boys, the students from Sydney Uni. Of course, Coach Gilmore would have done plenty of homework for Sydney Uni against. They need to keep their season alive after they were trounced last week by Belconnen in Sydney.
Yeah.
They really need to get their season back on track, the students.
Yeah, you're right about Quaid, but all the best to Quaid. He's probably one of the genuine good blokes of the competition, and I don't think you'd find anyone that has a bad word to say about him. So all the best to Quaid, and hope you play well, mate.
Absolutely, I think he's universally admired by everyone in the competition, as you rightly said, Riley. Of course, he's a former product from that rich Riverina area, and it is the Eastlake fighting for another goal. What have we got here? The umpire's picked out a free kick here to McLeod. It is Brent McLeod. Swans reserves.
Getting belted by the Thunder.
Are getting a touch up from the Thunder. As we spoke and said, the Swans hadn't been beaten, but it is the NT Thunder. They could inflict the first defeat for the Sydney Swans reserves. So that's a real turn up for the books there. Great stuff to the former Eastlake coach in Daniel Archer, who's now in charge of the Northern Territory Thunder. And it's out there towards Moody. Moody in the back half. He gets it down towards that of O'Connell. Young Dan O'Connell, I like the way he goes about his footy. O'Connell leans back on the footy in towards Bruce. Bruce takes a good overhead mark. Solid without being spectacular today is Aaron Bruce.
Yeah, that's a good thing about Bruce. He gets a fair bit of attention when he goes forward. He can play down back, but I think what the good thing about him is when he's up and running and he's fit, he's a pretty damaging midfielder. He's pretty tough, pretty hard at it, and can get in and win that footy when we need it. So he's been pretty important, I think, in the second half.
Over towards Mesman, he's passed it off back to Moody. They're just toying around with the ball. 30 minutes gone in this last quarter. Round 14, we're going to see Eastlake Demons inflict revenge on the Tuggeranong Hawks. There you have it. 10-15-75, 9-6-60. The Eastlake Demons run away with a 15-point win over a very gallant Tuggeranong Hawks. Daniel, much appreciated your comments today. Who'd you see as the best players out in the park there for the both sides?
Yeah, well, I think you have a look at the Demons with Bruce was really important, I think, in the second half. Armstrong competed pretty well cross half forward. I think Gumley down back, and Mike Ryan in his first game definitely wasn't beaten too much. But I guess with regards to Tuggeranong, I think Hunt in the middle, touched on him, got plenty of the footy. McLeod looked dangerous, was probably had his colours lowered in the second half by Van Muirs. McGrath again would have got plenty of the footy, and I think Robinson did a pretty good job down back.
Let's not forget Ash Pope got 4 goals for the Tuggeranong Hawks, so he did okay as well. I know it was actually McLeod who kicked 4 and Pocock kicked 3, I think.